Hello, everybody. Is anybody there? Can I get a mic check? If so, if not, I'm just gonna kill. Good morning, good evening. Wake up, go to bed. I don't care either way. Do what you want to do. You're going to anyway, right? Today's gonna be a hell of a show. Hell of a show. I guess you'd call it kind of like predictive programming. Let me get some stuff down here. I'm gonna meet up. I won't be long. Well, we're gonna have a good show today, or live stream, or whatever you want to call it. We're going to talk to singularity elimination. Oh, hold on. Hello, Miss Gander, Swama, Jen Tugon. What's up, girl? My hometown person, my hometown lady friend. How is it over there? Is it real bad, Jen? It gotten as bad as everybody says. Scott Severini, good to see you. Welcome, Miss Gander. Creator provides if the dude abides. Yeah. Yep. I agree with that. I call him the maker and the source. Like, if you look up look up the spelling and the etymology of the words and where it goes, the maker made the creator. You make love, make a baby, you're gonna meet your maker, or you create a baby, create love, and create the way to your maker. Be in the hands of the maker. That's deep. That's deep. No, that makes more sense now, Mr. Gander. You want to come up, man? Until Sting will be here shortly. Yep. He's always 10 or 15 minutes late, probably, if I remember right. If not, no big deal. He'll get here when he gets here. He'll get here when he gets here. There he is, right there. Hello. Hello, sir.
Hello, all.
How are you
How's
today?
everyone?
We're all
Good,
good. Good.
good.
How was your game?
Actually, I didn't go out. I didn't have enough time. I cooked to eat some food, and then I decided so I can just chill rather than rushing. But I enjoy going out to the city. It's all just a game, anyways. A very fun game. this game of life so perceived to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Not exactly what it is.
No, once you expand, go ahead and let's just get going.
Let's get going. Is everybody ready for the truth? All right. What I perceive this place to be is basically, you ever see those vampire movies where the whole earth is just infected and becomes a type of vampire nation? Well, this place always has been a type of vampire cyberspace nation, except always hidden undercover. Okay. In the movie The Transformers, near the last Transformers, the Decepticons reveal the truth. And something that Megatron's like, now we reveal ourselves to the world. Well, around that time, this is when I became aware of this reality that was not the reality I perceived it to be. So basically, I realized it's a type of loosh, harvest, farm game, if you want to make it a game, but very real. If one doesn't complete the levels, they don't get out, or complete their necessities, requirements, responsibilities. You don't get out of this place unless you complete your simulation and to be reformed, restored. It's a type of rehabilitation conditioning, but this is quite a twisted reality, a realm. Really, there is no rules in the astral and etheric levels of what can be done as what I define as digital holographic modulation, thought modulation, including clearings, cancellations, processings, adjustments, modifications, builds, upgrades, the way you're going to process other beings, violators. Okay, this is a type of simulation, digital holographic, but this is as real as it gets. So these cyberspace vampires have been hidden amongst us our whole reality of being here, except nobody told us about the rules of the game. Okay, a game, I made it a game because now it's a game to myself because I'm informed of how this whole simulation works. It's a type of harvest farm, and definitely the chakras are utilized to tap into other beings' chakras because they're all synchronized to each other, sort of. So this is a type of, a person is in a type of collective hive, okay? What I define a codependent collective hive, but when one becomes awake and aware, they don't want to be part of the collective hive codependent. They want to become a united, independent collective where they've shut down their chakras and now they can tap into other chakras and do unto them as was done unto us. Harvesting, okay? This is, the fallen angels had their turn to harvest. Now it's our turn. When I say our turn, the gatekeepers who did not fall. Okay, so many of you shall be revealed as you are higher dimensional gatekeepers that were not part of that participation as the rebellion that rebelled against the luminary laws and codes of Source, rebelled, and then the fall happened, then the simulation spawned. Source decided to make the simulation because it was needed. It was needed for the fallen angels to become types of cyberspace vampires because they lost their core, their energy core synchronization to Source. That would be their battery that never runs out of energy. Their soul spirit sparks are different. Reverse field. Source is unlimited power that does run out. And then you got the vampire nation, the fallen angels that have types of battery cells that need recharging, their souls, their spirits, their sparks that I call. So this was all designed to teach beings lessons, that there is nothing beyond Source that is pleasant nor good. The anti-field is everything. Anti-field to the light is darkness. If Source, the origins of design of programming was no pain, bliss, euphoricness, you didn't have to hunt, harvest your energy, work other people like narcissism, nags, gang stalking, organized harassments, or vice versa, anything else. It was just, you didn't need to do anything. Plus, we did not even need money where we came from because currency was not needed because we're all at thought manifestation projection level of so-called existence. So basically, the anti-field would be if no pain, bliss. The anti-field would be pain, no joy, no nothing. And this is why pains, torments, sufferings, distress, symptoms, anguishes. And this is why they need to harvest loose energy to get a fix, like a fix of joy. For when one becomes aware like myself, then you just shut down your energetic field. Basically, you don't shut down your energy. You just lock out your energy from nobody utilizing your energy. Your energy is an extension of your essence to your core energy being. That is an extension to all your parts, energies, and functions, your molecules. So your energy is sentient, symbiotic response to your thoughts. Once you cut off these beings to not be able to utilize your energy, that's it. They're cut off, and watch things drastically change, especially with close ones around yourself, friends, associates, work associates, friends, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands and wife, children. Things change when you cut off the energetic field supply to their loosh. Then it's all basically Armageddon, squeeze who can squeeze who to get what they can get through force-induced tactics and force-induced technology. So that is a short representation to where we are, basically, period. And as Phil says, that's the short version.
That's a hell of a short description. I love it.
Yeah, but it
That's
is what
right.
it
That's
is,
the
right?
short version. Pretty much.
Yeah, and I'm gonna direct this. I'm gonna direct this to the commenters. Feel free to drop any question you want. It's just this is what it's about: answering questions and adding to other questions that may bring more information to make more builds, to bring more builds to the table, to reveal more information. The more information one knows about the system, the more they shall not be deceived by the system. Okay.
Yes. Yes, and
And
it's hard to fathom where we are and what all has been done. And when I found out, I freaked out and then made this YouTube channel called Amongst Us Are Predators because I didn't know what else to call it. I didn't know who else to talk to about it. Yeah, here we are. Hey, I'm
yeah,
gonna say this. I'm gonna say this thing. You just tell everybody all the information you want to tell them. I'm just gonna lay back, relax, listen to you because there's things that you just said there that really hit me. You know, like it's we all need to not be in the chat talking, and we just need to be listening. That's how I'm. That's how I'm gonna say it in the short, simple, logical version. So yeah, talking chat, but do what you want. But I'm just saying, I personally, I'm not gonna be in chat as much. I'm gonna listen to you. Okay, you good with that?
yeah, I'm good with that. But also, I need to be steered with some type of information that I need
Mm-hmm.
to be discussing about, right? So this is where
Yeah,
I'm going to
sure.
rely on what the hell is happening here. I got a total, I've got your channel on my phone, and it's let me get my glasses on because it's showing like a screen of format code programming, not this screen.
Well, there's maybe that's your next conversation.
Hold on a moment. Unless I need to get out of here and come back in. Just give me a moment just to be sure I'm in the right.
You're good. Do your thing, buddy.
All right, something changed. Anyways, I was in the right screen. It was the comments, but doesn't surprise me, man. Something else was being displayed. It was like a computer code. You see a computer screen getting formatted. That's what was being shown. So, anyways, it just doesn't
Yeah, did
surprise me.
you got to look at it, right? So you remembered it. You're good.
Yeah, okay. I'm just adjusting it here, make sure it's all good. Yeah, okay, it's all good. All right.
All right, beep bop boop, as Mark Basket, my buddy, would say.
Yeah. So,
Wow, there you have it.
so okay, hold on. Let me just get my notes here because maybe I could just add more to these notes I have, and then it could spark more questions.
There you go.
Okay. So
I'm
what I
sorry,
have,
King. I smoked a little, buddy. I'm sorry. I'm in a relaxed mode, bud.
no worries, man. That's what it's all about, doing what you need to do. So it'll be exactly what it's going to be, right? So there may be moments
Exactly.
where there's not much to talk about, and there may
It's
be
all right.
moments
Well,
where,
I talked about how silly I am and got high before I got on here. That's what I talk about. How stupid I can be sometimes, but can't
yeah,
we all?
it's going to be what it's going to be. I'm high all the time, anyways. It's just this energetic fields. I don't need to ingest anything. I'm just
Yeah,
as high as high as somebody can be. Okay, I've realized though, doing energy work, energy frequency tuning for many years, I've been on this natural high where if I don't do so much energy work, I really get too high, and I get blasted, sort of shifted into what I call the etheric astral meth dimensions, where it's really light, the solar and lunar construct, where you're feeling really light and kind of too speedy, possessed. So I kind of keep myself down, grounded to my state of feeling energetic fields, where it's more pleasant for myself than to be in the stimuli of the senses. So it's kind of
well,
a hybridization. region where I've reached. So yeah, it's just I stopped vaping too because it stopped working. Right, I reached such energetic fields because usually when I was doing vaping, I also do energy work to sort of challenge, not challenge, but amplify the vape. So what happened is I didn't even feel the vape after a few times. It was just like, it's not worth it. So I basically gave it up. It's day 2 today, and I don't even crave it. The only addiction I can see from quitting something when you're aware is it's like my vape would be sitting right over here on this table, and I'd be doing an activity, and I'm kind of looking for it there, and it's not there no more. I gave it away to some guys on the street because I figured they enjoy it more. I had a lot of juice. I had like 240 mils of juice. I gave that away too. But there is no detox or anything. When you understand, when one becomes informed of what detox is, well, what is the detox? The detox is nicotine. It's a program. So I understand that I am a digital holographic being. Everything is digital holographic. So it's like a computer. Okay, I've got nicotine. I've been using for what,
Exactly.
about 8 months. So identify, recognize the nicotine in my system, in my vessel surrogate machine. So I uninstall the program nicotine and all the other nicotines, and away it goes. There's no detox because the detoxing is part of detoxing the chemical stimuli that is a program that some people call demons, okay, or
Hmm.
gay, or
Yeah.
yeah, stimuli of demonic programs, okay, or we can get demonic programs out of here. Just call them stimuli of programs. So caffeine, nicotine, and you got cocaine, heroin, fentanyl, methamphetamines, ecstasies, marijuana, alcohol. It's all programs. They're all just programs.
Yeah.
And when
Right.
one, yeah, and when one realizes the detox is the program that's still lingering in one's system, like a virus in a computer, then you just take out the program, and detox should be basically next to nothing.
I've never had any. Let me interpret what you said there, though.
Sure.
My interpretation, and it won't be my last interpretation. Phil, I'm already fucked up enough, and I don't need anything else. That's what you said. There's my interpretation. Because here's the
In
thing:
a,
once you reach a certain level, I'm with you on this because I've never detoxed off of anything I've ever done. You hear people go, "Oh, I got the shits, I got this, I'm puking, I'm sweating." I've never ever, and there's times now I ain't done that in 20 years, but there was times I was doing drugs where I could do something and just stop it. Pain pills, that's one. The only one that got me, yeah, for about 2 or 3 days, my stomach was messed up, and that's it. Any other drug, I've never had any problems getting off of it. I don't do anything too much to get off of it anyway. When I did do it, it's just a little vacation, so to speak, from the reality. So
yeah, and
I
you
don't
said
want
it.
anybody to think that, yeah, I don't want anybody to think that that's a bad thing because no, it's a normal thing for us. That's how I'm going to put it. So, yeah, man, is that a good interpretation?
Yeah, that's a good interpretation. Yeah, and
Thank you, man. Yeah, because it can be hard sometimes to interpret you, man. It really can. But the thing is, people just listen to you more and more and understand your terminology. That's what it is. Was for me, just understanding your terminology. But once you do, yeah, we have some hella funny talks, man. We can almost cut up half of our time in joking around and clowning around and being serious. You know, between you and I. So when you reach that point, yeah, it's a good thing. Glad to make you not a bot and make you a man next to me because that's what I thought at first. Like this guy's a walking, talking. Uh, you're like the guy on Star Trek, the new one, the
data.
doctor. Yeah, well, like Data. Yeah, Data's one. That's the earlier version. I was thinking of that holographic one that would just appear there, and he was like a doctor. He's bald headed. Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
okay.
the new version, like the two, you'd be the 3.0.
Yeah.
Oh, good
So,
stuff.
what shall we go into next year? Let's see if
Well,
I can add
here's
any.
what I say. I say you go into what you think's the most important, and then go down. What you think, even if it's the hardest one to deal with. That's the way I always do. I always
Okay,
try to make it. Here's the hardest shit you got, and then
okay.
anything after this, it's a cakewalk.
Yeah. So I gotta. I have this written down. This seems to be main distraction of everybody. How people are distracted by worldly things. You know, focusing on information
Good one.
that does not benefit one to exit this dark matrix system. They waste precious time that they don't have. Okay, because they are regulated by time. In the dark matrix, heading for inevitable repeat, rebirth, recycle. This is as real as any simulation gets. When I define this as digital holographic, and I'm having fun now, this is a game. So I'm basically calling this my harvest. This is my hour, my harvest, my cycle to harvest. But beings who are grasping this and are just going out in the world just blindly with their daily affairs, being distracted by the job they have, the family they have, their responsibilities. I'm not defining don't have responsibilities, but here what I'm defining is don't be distracted by all these interferences basically from your true, how can I define this? One's true goal in this dimension should be to basically, I'll define this as mastering the levels of the dark matrix and luminary matrix, and then also becoming informed of what this place actually is, and also negotiating with what I define the primary creator source that some people call God, negotiating with source to start their simulation, conditioning, rehabilitation to be reformed, restored, so they can have a guarantee and secure their exit out of here. This isn't the only existence. I've traveled to different dimensional planes, sometimes when I was awake, sometimes in sleep, sometimes in the astral etheric. But I traveled to different dimensional channels within those levels where this isn't all there is when people define the earth as the only thing that exists. No, there's many other levels of channels with levels in them of experience that are beyond this place and cannot be accessed until one is prepared and has done their work and completed their necessities, responsibilities, requirements to be reformed, restored, rehabilitated, then they move on. Now, if you're probably defining, well, how come I was allowed to view those? Well, as I have asked, I've received, I've toured into different dimensions, perceived as channels and the levels within those to be informed and to also add to my memory recall of where I am from, who I am, and what is this place and where is other places. And it's been quite a journey. So this isn't the only place. So the distractions are to be taken very seriously. And if one doesn't wake up this cycle, what's the guarantee of one arriving here to this referenced region? Again, probably not. These videos probably aren't going to be available on the next cycle, or definitely I'm not going to be here in the next cycle, which is the next lifespan of human beings, because I've negotiated to leave. And that's that. One needs to secure their exit, guarantee their exit by completing whatever source has designed as their template design of their life requirements, responsibilities to be fulfilled. So what's designed for myself to go through as my simulation rehabilitation, to rattle my cage, to wake me up, and the necessities and the requirements and the responsibilities I need to complete are different from other people's, because everybody has a fine tailored tuned ascension process. That source, the primary creator source that I call source, that some people call God, has fine-tuned and tailored to each individual for their necessities so they can get their rehabilitation basically to be reformed, restored, conditioned. And what I define by being rehabilitated to not turn dark, sure, I define about harvesting and loose harvesting, my turn of this harvest, but I know how to do it without turning dark. It's just I know all these fallen angels that shall be appointed to myself, as in maybe the handlers that were my handlers, and anyone that is appointed to myself by source to do energy work towards them, harvesting, to condition them, to rehabilitate them. I understand I'm doing this to lost brothers and sisters, and I chuckle at this. I can genuinely smile and have joy while I'm taking their energy and sending them on their simulation rehabilitation, as terrible as it may be, and yet I do exactly as source guides and assists myself. And it's not all pretty roses and sniffing roses, okay? Some of these astral etheric levels are levels of like in the movie Saw. Okay, some of these levels I go to when I'm usually that happens when I'm sleeping. When I astral travel, I don't hesitate to split somebody in half. It's just if they're really pissing me off, I take care of business, and it's quite gory sometimes. What's happening? A lot of the times it's quite gory. So in those levels, there's different rules to those levels, but this level here too goes the same way within one's inner mind's eye vision that I call their digital holographic screen, where they're doing energy work, energy frequency tuning. A lot of work can be done, which is perceived as magic, just by imagining yourself doing something to someone else, but never with dark energy. You never want to be bleeding your energy out. That defines you're part of the solar lunar matrix construct system, and you lose your authorizations, permissions from source to modulate and modify your digital holographic reality, even to your energy work, energy frequency tuning, and the harvesting. I call it harvest because that's exactly what it is. But furthermore, the harvest is rehabilitating, conditioning beings to be reformed, restored, to teach them a lesson that, hey, they can't do this to myself no more, or to beings who have become aware. It's, you did magic to myself, I'll kick your ass with the magic I'm going to do, because I'm much more creative with my utilization of my thought core, that is my digital computer projector that modulates my reality. That is, your thoughts is basically anchored into the astral and etheric channel levels, that whatever you're imagining, whatever you're doing, energy work, energy frequency tuning, it's happening. Okay, to a certain level, it's happening. And is it going to be honored and permissions granted by source to manifest? Well, it depends to the level of attainment you are. But all this energy work, you cannot be doing it with a resentment. Yeah, I'm going to get this perp that perp me. No, it doesn't work like that. You just got to be unconditionally accepting with no conditions, that is genuine love, knowing what this place is. It's just a rehabilitation center, digital holographic simulation. Because when I keep my unconditional acceptance, no conditions, I'm conducting in of attraction, of implosion, of gravity in conduction fields, a feeling that is also down conduction fields, defines all beings who are dark with dark energies throw their energy out projected, define conducting in. That's why even the Bible, JC defines about love a lot. Love, unconditional acceptance, is that energy that's get thrown at you is being absorbed, processed, and converted. So in the last translation to the YouTube channel that I utilize, Singular Illumination is the channel's name, I define an analogy there, and I'll define it here again. Now you'll grasp this. Okay. Why you must not turn dark? If you turn dark, you go to the collective hive general prison population system to be rehabilitated amongst the general prison. I call it prison rehabilitation population, and not a good place to be, because you're going to get your ass kicked amongst the fallen angels in the dark solar and lunar matrix channel, where you shouldn't be. You should be in your luminary matrix channel, that is, I call the beyond underground, the underworld. Underground. Do you get the lingo? Underground. You are from the underworld. Under is your ground core, your core to your stabilization to your luminary matrix channel. Under would be perceived, if you had a sphere and the core was in the center, you'd have to travel down under the ground to get to your core, to your root base. Okay. So basically, implosion of inconduction of gravity, of attraction, and down conduction keeps you stabilized to your core root unification with source, your luminary matrix channel. The anti-field channel is up conduction and out fields reversals. It's a reverse field laws of physics programming. So if you're turning dark, then you're going, away you go, your channel change. You're in your dark double solar lunar out conduction and up laws of physics channel copy. You're in your double dark surrogate machine vessel, head, neck, and body, all parts, energies, and functions. There, you can't really modulate it so much because you're in it for getting rehabilitated, because you turn dark, defining it sort of automated to torture you with anxieties, depression, torsions, tight muscles, cramps, responding and reacting to noises and visuals, and also all these tactics of the perceived gang stalkers, the organized harassments that are actually solar and lunar dark beings working you, because you channel change. You are deceived to go to their channel where they get to work you, because when you're in your channel remotely, you're working them. Okay, so what goes around comes around. Is there a problem with the communications? Maybe he's
No,
getting his
no,
phone in.
no. No,
Maybe
you're
he's getting
good. You're
this.
good.
Maybe he's getting it slow on his side. Okay, but anyways, I'm going to continue with this boxing analogy. Okay, because now you know if you turn dark, the dark matrix is taking your energy. Things are reversed, reversal, except they take your energy this way. They're out conducting, so you're out conducting, so you're flowing with them, so they're taking your energy because you're synchronized to their laws of physics. Okay, so now in a boxing match, now we'll define illuminated being who's of genuine unconditional acceptance, no conditions, love of attraction, implosion fields, of gravity fields, of amplification, of down gravity. Well, this guy's conditioned. He knows how to take people's energies. He doesn't turn dark, and he knows people are always throwing energy, bleeding dark negative energies. And if somebody really is going to focus on him and try to perp him or be a narcissist, this person that's conditioned knows how to take the energy because they're conducting in like an implosion of attraction of gravity, like a black hole, is exactly the laws of physics of singularity being solved. Genuine love, that is no condition. Unconditional acceptance, no conditions, is a type of laws of physics of a black hole. Is feeling, is love, is the laws of physics of illuminated being. Never bleeds their energy out, loses energy, never. So basically, his opponent would be a dark matrix being who bleeds energy out, who's got resentment, who fights with anger, hate, and resentment. Total dark Scythian anti-field boxing opponent.
Total.
Okay, so they start boxing. The inevitable outcome is the illuminated being boxing is going to be absorbing all the energy, well, mostly hits the energy from the other person. And when the illuminated being is hitting, he's hitting, but illuminated beings are conditioned to when they hit, they pull, they attract energy like a black hole. So when I'm at the gym, I'm hitting the bag, I'm attraction completely, and I'm getting more. As I hit the bag more, I get more energy, and I really don't get tired. I just amplify my energetic fields. So by the time I finish my gym workout, sometimes 2 hours, in the past it was 3, I had more energy than I had when I arrived at the gym because I'm doing attraction of absorbing, converting, processing, all bleeding energetic fields. I never take and utilize none of my own energy in this ascension. That is a requirement for one not to use their own energy. Never, okay? You could use your core, you didn't fall, but this is where lessons are going to be taught to the fallen angels that, hey, we know exactly what we're doing. We have waited to this reference in region to awaken, and now we're going to harvest you. What you did to us, simply put, straightforward, what you did to them.
That's
Okay.
it. That's what we're going to do. Harvest them. Yeah.
Yes.
When you said that we would give them, sorry, Shane. I'm sorry, bud.
Go for it.
This is
Oh,
why.
no, go.
This is why I wanted to slow down. Because no, hold on. Let me say this. I love you, dude, and I don't think anybody's ever said, "Hey, Sing, you just tell us what you think." I don't want to. I don't want to interrupt you. I don't want to stop your flow. This is about what you have to deliver. This is not about a show. For me, I'll make it. I can't cut up with you. I can't. I don't want to stop your flow. I know when we talk a lot face to face, I interrupt you a lot. You know, I don't want to interrupt you.
Oh, it's
So,
good. Don't worry, it's all good. I don't usually forget, so usually I'm reminded.
okay,
Okay, I'm
with
going to
much
continue with this.
respect.
I'm going to
Yes,
continue with
with
this.
much respect.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead, buddy.
All right, I'm going to continue with this boxing analogy to your opponents, your dark opponents, because eventually you're going to drain them so much of their energy, you're going to set them up for the knockout blow. The knockout blow is if they don't get the picture and really leave your presence and sphere and sector, they shall be repeated, rebirth, and recycled. Not a good place to be to somebody who I define as an initiated singularity being, gatekeeper, watcher, and knows exactly what is happening in this dimensional plane. So anyways, in this boxing match, they're both going at it. The dark Scythian, solar, and lunar boxer opponent is throwing the energy always with resentment, anger, and hate, trying to knock out their opponent with hate. The other opponent, who's illuminated as singularity being, initiated singularity being, gatekeeper, watcher, knows that this is a lost brother. He accepts him unconditionally, draws in all his energy unconditionally, absorbing it, processing it, and converting it, of attraction, of implosion, of gravity fields, is love, unconditional acceptance. Probably he's even smiling when he's fighting this guy. So defining this other boxer, the dark being who's fighting with resentment, anger, hate, etc., jealousy, all the dark character traits, programming that is being deceived to utilize, is he's being drained continuously, losing energy, while the illuminated singularity initiated being is boxing his opponent, absorbing, converting, and processing the energetic fields to an implosion collapse and implosion of attraction of gravity feeling fields of unconditional acceptance defines in a couple of rounds this opponent, the dark opponent, shall be really tired. Okay, he's losing energy all the time. The inevitable outcome is the loss, the knockout. Okay, the knockout blow will be a hit, a punch, or energy work, energy frequency tuning, which is the analogy of this boxing match when one finally does their initial calibration, clearing, processing, absorbing and converting and processing the energy to attraction, implosion, conduction, gravity fields like black hole laws of physics of feeling is love. Then the final blow shall be an attraction implosion of energy that the other person can't handle, and they shall be knocked out. Knocked out would be somebody that is heading for inevitable repeat, rebirth, recycle because they chose the wrong opponent to mess with. Okay, they only could mess with us as long as the reference in region when we're sleeping. When we wake up, we cannot lose. When we are informed and focused, as in this type of energy work, energy frequency tuning, utilizing the one main law to prevent one from turning dark, unconditional acceptance, that is no conditions, that is genuine love, that is basically no conditions to anything happening, any circumstance of events, of experiences, or anything going through your daily affairs. To always accept it is to absorb it, process it, and convert it, defining doesn't get any more potent than actual having genuine love, unconditional acceptance. That is no conditions to any experience of events happening, no matter what they are. Even the dark stuff that happens on the planet, I accept it unconditionally. I'm not giving it energy. I'm always taking energy from the dark opposing forces so I can drain them and go for the knockout blow and end this. Okay, this is what it's about. Never turning dark though. Always having your joy of fun, that this is a game that you cannot lose when you know how to conduct your energy work and energy frequency tuning. All right. So this should add to my brothers and sisters here reviewing this live panel, their information of wisdom and knowledge. Why not to turn dark? Turning dark isn't cool, getting hot-headed and expressing yourself. The most dangerous beings are the ones who, dangerous in a good way, are the ones who are silent and exhibit unconditional acceptance and tolerance, except you can only tolerate so much, and then you got to set boundaries with immediate associates you deal with in daily affairs. Of course, unconditional acceptance, even with the boundaries, doesn't mean I hate anybody. It just defines, just because I have unconditional acceptance, no conditions with everyone and everything, love, doesn't define that you're going to come and hang around with myself. You mess up a few times, you're on your own path, and that's that.
Exactly.
And for myself too, to be successful, and this is if I'm talking to a brother or sister and they turn dark, you better be careful around myself. I'm harvesting your energy and I'm draining you. I'm depleting your energy, and you should be careful never to turn dark around myself, or you should know better to not turn dark, because there is no mercy in this dimensional plane ascension, defining you're either going to process or be processed. Do your energy work, energy frequency tuning correctly, or if you mess up, you shall be harvested and processed, depleted, and drained, heading for a repeat, rebirth, recycle. So it's a matter of being aware and informed. That's all.
It is. It is. For me, it was finding where, that place where fear comes from in your body. Once you can control that, that's when you gain control of everything. Now, you
Let's
might
talk
seem cold and hard for some people, but they're just not meant to be around you, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't mind fear. If somebody wants to bring me a snack, I'll eat it. I'll absorb, process, and convert that energy. Fear doesn't last long around myself. It really doesn't come never no more, because it's just dark energetic fields, what I define as dark
Exactly.
program. So defining, if I'm going to get fear, start getting trembly, shaky, anxiety, well, identify and recognize that anguish. There it is. I got the demon. Process, absorb, process, convert it with my thought of intent perception, imploding of collapsing energetic fields of attraction of gravity. It's like I absorb it into all my molecule portal and gateways, even my chakras that are major portals and gateways, synchronizing to other beings who are attempting to breach you. And with your chakras is all your molecules, your head, neck, and body, all parts, energies, and functions, and your energy sphere on your energy beam that is an extension to your vessel is a portal and gateway for process. Your energetic core to all your molecules is a processor, source core center processor, energetic portal gateway that processes all dark anti-field manipulations. Okay, so pain, doesn't last long with myself. I get pain. I'm like, oh, there you are, devil, demon, portal, gateway. There you are. So I just get the demon, the
Yeah,
portal
that'd be
gateway, the cord attachment, and anything else attached. I absorb, process, and convert it. So defining, I don't let no cyberspace anti-field energy vamp myself with no dark programming. I understand it. The dark demons, portals, and gateways,
yeah.
circuits, and cords,
It's
devices
basically
are identified
that.
with symptoms and distresses, pains, torments, sufferings, anguishes, fear, anxieties, pain,
Mhm.
depression, etc. These are all attachments, cords, portals, and gateways that are opened where you need to teach these demons, cyberspace vampires, a lesson to not come to your gates, your molecules. Okay, it's like when you become aware, you're gate watching all your molecules, and if any demon cyberspace vampire tries to come through them, you teach them a lesson, if not even knock them out
Yeah,
unconditionally.
basically vampire the vampires.
Yeah, okay, hey, there's team dark vampires. This is the way I see it. And then there's team light vampires. It is what it is, okay? Gatekeepers, though I consider myself more of a gatekeeper, though I'm doing my energy work as they have done unto others, shall be done unto themselves, perceived as karma. Karmic return mirror of records of recordings, response and reaction of their deeds done.
Yes, this is true.
So
Basically it's all still a hierarchy in its own way, but it's for we all are singular amongst the sub predators. Basically, your
exactly,
name. There it is.
exactly, perfect name. This is a predatorial hunting. Work who you can work, dog eat dog, top of the food chain versus the bottom of the food chain and the middle of the food chain. Whoever's at top of the pyramid is usually the awakened aware beings who are not being deceived and working the lower beings. Okay, so it is quite a process, this whole thing. And unfortunate, okay, the sun is powered by recycled sun, solar, lunar, repeat, rebirth, recycle. The sun is powered from deceived beings, souls that are being deceived, their energy, as we are processing, sources deciding, drying, and giving it back to the sun. And then the recycle, repeat, rebirth system is done through the sun. So in actual fact, where is all this food coming from on this planet, the sun? What's powering the sun simulation? That is a type of simulation rehabilitation. Well, the sun is recycled, repeated. Solar, lunar, 12 planetary construct satellite system is a type of harvesting system. Recycle. It recycles the energy back into it, like in the movie Matrix, how the machines recycled everything back in to be utilized as energy from babies as batteries. Then no more use for the people being hooked up to the dream state simulation VR. Then they were repeated, rebirthed, liquefied, sucked back into the machine, and reused. But the sun is more or less telling us exactly what these matrix machine does. So in actual fact, all the energy coming from the sun is from beings who are deceived and are part of the solar, lunar, 12 planetary construct satellite sphere guardian dark gatekeeper system. Okay, being deceived by the dark gatekeepers is the 12 planets, and the 13th planet would be the sun and the moon that are actually split. The control center pillar is the solar and lunar split, male and female, that are actually one and same, just split apart, being the positive and the negative fields aspects of the dualities, polar
Yes,
split, positive and negative existence. So in actual fact, the game Pac-Man is telling you everything. You got this yellow
yes,
Pac-Man that represents the sun, and then you got all these ghosts that represents the humans that the sun's going to eat. Okay, but Pac-Man could only Pac-Man. Let's see. Okay, so Pac-Man is only scared of the ghosts when they're solid. That would define somebody who is a luminary being is solid, and Pac-Man can't attack him because they're a high frequency density resonance in what I define attraction of gravity conduction fields of implosion of gravity implosion gravity attraction field. So defining, when does Pac-Man get his power? Pac-Man gets his power when Pac-Man gets his power when one is deceived, a illuminated being or any other being is deceived to turn dark. They lose their density of singularity status illumination, higher frequency density fields, that is actually a different channel, they get channel changed to what I define as they get ghosted to the up and out field of the anti-field solar and lunar matrix, then they become ghosts. So Pac-Man gets his power when the perceived humans become ghosted, and then Pac-Man, the humans get scared of the sun, the dark programming, phobic, paranoid, scared. Then the hunt is on from the reverse field channel, solar lunar matrix. The Pac-Man is full force, chasing, hunting the perceived organized harassments, gang stalk, where you're being boo, like a sea being scared all the time by cars, planes, people's tactics and harassments, dark street theater, drama, noise campaigns, visual campaigns, to respond and react to all the dark scripting. You're being boosied by the primary sun, solar and lunar core, and the extension of that is the solar and lunar anti-field matrix beings trying to chase you down, to vampirize you, to cyberspace vamp you, to eat your energies, absorb, convert, process your energetic fields. They're extensions of the sun, like Pac-Man eating you. So when you don't fall and you get this all, it's reversed. You become not the yellow Pac-Man, you become like a black Pac-Man, a singularity portal and gateway known as a black hole. What is black? Well, if you dilute the color black, I've diluted a cotton shirt once in the wash. It was quite new black shirt by mistake, or just sat in there too long. I don't know how black shirt got in bleach. It did anyways, I remember. And I looked at the color. It was a type of dark royal blue violet. So our portals and gateways perceived as black holes that are black, of inconduction, of attraction, of gravity, implosion fields. So that is feeling, that is joy, that is euphoricness. They're actually a dark royal blue violet color. No such thing as black. Black is actually a really dark royal blue violet color. So this game, that I see it as a game now because I'm very well informed and also know how to navigate through the light matrix and the dark matrix. I'm informed in both dimensional channels of the wisdom and knowledge that I need to know, so to be successful through navigating and going about my daily affairs without being vampirized, cyberspace, vamped, and my energy drained, siphoned, and converted.
Yes. I was just sitting and thinking about a few things while you were telling that. The male and female energies. Can you expound on that more? Why is it male and female, and what's the understanding between the male and female versions? What you're saying, you work with another energy, or please expound on that.
Well, the male and female, you must collapse your field to get out of here. And maybe this commenter could expand on their comment, and then I can expand on more information. I understand this recycling machine very perfectly well, very well, that if somebody doesn't collapse their fields to one singular field, they're stuck here. They're not leaving. You must become a singularity, reestablished, restored being to exit here before your time is up, before you're called. The decision is made by source for you. It's your time to leave. If you don't have your portal and gateway established to a singular collapsed field that is a singular field of implosion, of gravity, of attraction, that is a black hole, that is a portal and gateway, is your exit. Now, the male and female, the fall is from falling from the heavens, perceived as singularity, okay? Where there is no positive and negative duality, split polar fields. The fall is the deception where one became split, became a male and female energetic fields of positive and negative, defining that is the split, that is the breaking away, that is the unplugging from source core, that is a singular plug-in field unification connection. The split is a different dimensional channel that I call the solar and lunar positive and negative field dark matrix channel, that is a rehabilitation simulation for conditioning beings who have been deceived to break away and to be split by utilizing dark programming. And it starts off as a simple resentment. It goes to hate, anger, hate, resentment, ego, jealousy, conceitedness, pride, arrogance, etc., and many other ones that inject and push one to go further into darkness, to dark programming, to darker levels. So to get out of here, one must understand they must collapse their positive and negative male and female aspects of the sun, moon that gives birth to the dark earth matrix channel, to the dark earth Okay, once one collapses their fields to a singular field, they're born into channel change, not born. They make themselves into a higher dimensional frequency field that is a restoration to their origin construct of design, a singular field. One must be to gain authorizations and permissions from source to start reversing and start processing. Okay, this is what we're here for. We didn't come here blindly to get our asses kicked. Okay, once we grasp this all, return to a singular field, collapsing our positive and negative field and collapsing our energetic positive and negative. You're a sun. Okay, you're a shining sun, dark matrix, anti-being of out conduction fields that up solar and lunar being. You are the sun and moon are the same as split. Now, when you close the split by doing your energy work and energy frequency tuning, that requires oneself. How do you close the split? Well, you start off by asking source to assist you guys to complete your what you need to complete, your necessities, responsibilities to complete your conditioning, rehabilitation, then further to be reformed, restored, energy work, energy frequency tuning, furthermore to condition yourself, is to not utilize dark programming, is to not be split, to be channel change. This is how you sustain yourself with all and most of your work you do, but you shall be allowed to be channel changed, to be conditioned by source, so you know how to navigate, get out of the dark matrix. But you shall be also left to be allowed to sit in the dark matrix, to take your dark beating where you have no resolve except you're just feeling the sensitization of all the response and reaction happening with your dark double copy body that you're in, your different channel. So one must not turn dark to maintain their singular field. That is key element. Okay. Then furthermore, source will allow you to be split for a while just to get conditioned. And when you can't be even turned dark when you're split in hell in the dark channel, then you shall be allowed by source, shall grant you authorizations and permissions to never be split. Because for myself, I cannot be deceived to get angry, turn dark, or utilize dark programming. It just can't happen. It's just I've been conditioned for so long. And also I've asked source to assist me, guide me to basically not be able to be turned dark, to condition myself so I cannot be turned dark by practicing and doing my energy work, energy frequency tuning, and being around temptations of all sorts of probabilities and possibilities. Okay, all conditions of the gang stalking, perceived organized harassments, dark entity manipulations, noise campaigns, visual campaigns, etc. Okay, so the split is that exactly. It is the deception of being channel changed, turned dark, and also going through the one's rehabilitation conditioning process to be reformed and restored. It is quite a process. It's how you negotiate with source that I define the primary creator source that some people call God. As you negotiate, you shall receive. You want to negotiate 3 months? It sounds like a fair time to grasp this all. But then again, you need to negotiate in detail to the best of your ability of what you want to be accomplished. Okay, so it is a process. I did not arrive here just by chance. Okay, I've asked and asked when I'm stagnated, asked and asked. But I also took a dark path. I took the Anunnaki Bible route of being under apprenticeship of Marduk. Okay, that was quite a chaotic adventure for myself, but it was the route that was designed for myself by source. Yeah, Phil laughs.
A lot of stories in that one. A lot of stories in that one.
Yeah, a lot of stories. A lot of stories.
Yeah, but a lot of stories in those times.
Going through this ascension, beings shall be informed about the darkness, the wisdom and knowledge of darkness, and the wisdom and knowledge of the luminary channels. Okay, dark channel, wisdom and knowledge, luminary channel, wisdom and knowledge. One must be informed with both aspects of this ascension of the dark and light, because if one knows the light, then they're blinded by the darkness. If one only knows the darkness, then they're blinded by the light. To have complete navigation, perception through all this, you must be informed of both of them, period. And utilizing both to a degree without turning dark, which I define the positive and negative is the split reality of this wisdom and knowledge. But then when you alchemize to go to a singular field, you don't see light and dark no more. You just perceive everything for what it is, period. Accurate information is revealed then when one fuses the light and the dark.
Right. Let me ask you this thing.
Yeah.
Can the other energy, the female counterpart, can she just be in a knowing of that's what we're both energies?
Can you expand a little bit more on the question?
Okay, so is there a female counterpart? What I'm noticing is a pattern.
Okay.
People that are close to each other, male and female, together are they these perfect energies? They have to be near each other, or is
That's
it
the
just in a
deception.
knowing that that's what? Yes. Okay. Thank you.
I understand exactly what you're saying. And this is the
Yeah.
biggest deception. Don't go out there. This is a message to all males and females. Don't go out there thinking you're going to find the perfect twin flame. Is bullshit. Okay? Thinking
Right.
you're female, you're negative like the moon, and thinking you're going to find the positive sun partner. That's bullshit. You'll never get out of the matrix. One should be
Exactly.
established to a singular status being, singularity, singular illumination, singular field, not positive, negative. Defining, sure, I would enjoy to have experiences of events with a female partner, but I know this. There's,
Right.
how could I
And you
define
would
this?
understand that's what it is, and
Yes,
not. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I wanted to
okay,
clarify.
okay. When one truly establishes themselves and gets a unified unification field with source, they are euphoric all the time, and they truly realize it's not the climax, it's not the experience of the events of having a relationship. One should feel just as good when they're with their partner, no matter what they're doing, and feel just as good when their partner's not around. Vice versa, integration with all their affairs. Going to the gym should make me feel better. I should already feel good before going to the gym because the energetic fields of, how can I define this? Okay, I want to be careful because this is a really good analogy to get rid of codependency. Codependency is done when one truly believes they need to do something to have that feeling, or they need to do something else to have that feeling. Of course, the certain experiences of events like the climax is something generated that enhances one's energetic euphoricness, but one should be feeling that climatic energy throughout the day if they know what they're doing, and it shouldn't be a big deal when they engage it. They should be like, it's pretty cool, amplify my feeling, I already have a bit, now it's time to leave that. Same thing engaging in all affairs. One shouldn't be waiting for the money to arrive to make them happy, because it's consisting of happiness. Nothing could ever generate one's true core of joy. Happiness is derived from the words happenings. Okay, happenings happens only in the split solar and lunar positive and negative duality reality, where one gets in a relationship, or one gets a car, one gets money, one goes to the gym, builds their body, and they get where they want. Then all of a sudden they're not happy no more, because they're not unified to the singular field where the core generation of energy is from source, generated all the time. I cannot fall into deception of materialism or codependency for myself to be codependent on a lie, deceived. Okay, so when one is truly established in a singular field, they'll realize whether having a partner or not, or whether engaging in sex or not, or a relationship or not, I feel just as whole and complete knowing that I'm unified with the center source core to a certain level within a certain to that channel. So defining, I can never really be alone or depressed or anything like that because something is missing, because what fulfills somebody completely is the unification singular field being restored from the fall, from the split polarity, positive and negative field, solar and lunar channel deception that gives birth to the dark earth matrix experience of events. One is
Yes.
completely fulfilled when they return to collapsing their solar and lunar star. The death of the star is opening one's portal and gateway to singularity source core fusion levels. So in actual fact, I moved beyond this dimension about 12 years ago, and this is when I seen the matrix go crazy to get me back as their sun energy battery supply. When one truly leaves, it's like a star that dies. It turns into a portal and gateway, a collapsion, implosion of attraction of gravity is feeling amplification, is leaving the dark living matrix of sensitization of stimuli, of response and reaction energetic fields and states. So in actual fact, one must end their star life cycle by being informed to an implosion singular field to open up their portal and gateway to the new earth, the new singularity, source unification, return home to a certain level in that channel. This is what it's about. Okay, so it is a process that anybody's listening to this and being intrigued by this information, thinking, or just bringing themselves to a different route of accepting probabilities and possibilities, Yes, this information is as accurate as I can translate it. And you need to negotiate with source. If you want to leave this matrix, you must collapse your solar and lunar star to a singular field gateway. Okay, that is a different dimensional
Hmm.
channel where you shift, you leave this earth because you've died, you've actually moved beyond. So the death of dying in this vessel isn't a true death. The true death that qualifies one to be guaranteed, as in guaranteed and uh, guaranteed their exit, is to understand that you need to collapse their fields by doing genuine work. And if you've collapsed your fields, created the singularity, and you go to old behaviors, away you go. You open up, you resurrect your old birth, you get birth once again. That is not good into the solar and lunar dark matrix as an out conduction, up
Hmm.
laws of physics, that is the sensitization from the to the instincts of the stimuli to respond and to react to everything. You're being scripted because you messed up. Once you leave, there's no returning to this channel, the old solar and lunar channel, and you will never leave and return it to the same way you once did. Every time you go back, mess up, you shall be revealed your state of condition even more severely, as felt as fears, trembling, shaking, anxieties, pains, depression, tired of energy, because you shall be majorly siphoned and drained once you leave. Because when you're called to leave, you're called to leave basically, and you go back. When you go back, you're just revealed more accurate information that is truth, that makes you become more aware, more focused of what is truly happening. So, in actual fact, when one is called by source or one negotiates with source and they start the process, there is no going back to your old life, the old behaviors of what is known as the solar and lunar split duality polarity of behavioral and character traits. Sure, you could engage in them, but it gets more painful each time you do it because you're not meant to be there no more. You're meant to go beyond, stay in your portal and gateway until you are finally decided, called by source, decision is made to leave this place once and for all and to go beyond, take your vessel that some of us shall, or your soul, spirit spark, core essence to your energy being, and go beyond.
Um, we've been talking about a lot of stuff, and
Oh yeah.
in amongst each other, I was wanting to know if you wanted to let a couple people up here to talk with us.
Yeah, anybody who wants to come up here, the more the merrier. It
Uh,
doesn't matter, don't even hesitate with your questions, because this is what I am here for. This is what Phil is here for. The
right.
discussions me Phil have off panel would be not limited to anything and everything. Okay, so feel free to talk about whatever you want to discuss. Yeah, let up anybody and everybody, Phil.
Okay, I will do that. I will do that. Let me get the link up there.
Okay.
It's definitely, and I talk with some of my friends about the things we talk about. Because I mean, it's life. You're living life.
Yeah,
So
well, most people think they're living life, Phil, but what is living life? I would not change my
yeah,
shoes
that's
for.
true. That's true.
Most people think living life is they have the money, they have the toys. I'll define this. If you have money and toys and don't know nothing about the dark matrix, then you're blind. You really aren't enjoying life. You're just being harvested, deceived, and manipulated by perceived. When
Yeah,
I woke up, I lost a lot of friends, if not all of them, because I
yeah,
realized they
me
weren't
too.
my friends. Okay. So when do you
No, and
realize who
even
your
your family.
Yeah, well, part of the process is you lose your family. You shift, your full family turns out to be the dark double copy you cannot recognize. Why are they acting like this now? They never used to act like that. Well, welcome to hell
Exactly.
levels
It's
of
nuts.
different copies of different challenges for your ascension. You shall go through many. This is being directed to everybody here. You shall go through many levels with different copies, even with your personal associates, family, or friends, etc. Period. Okay, this is part of the process. Is an exile of the world is part of the process that many get beings who are considered themselves to be targeted individuals have went through. How many years? How long? That's really decided by source. It's really different for everybody.
Yes, precisely. Um, Bex was saying the other day, she said, was talking about her family. I said, so what you're saying is you're happy to say that you don't talk to your family anymore.
Hey, so I didn't talk. I did not talk to my family nor sit with them at invites for dinner. I did not hang around with any personal blood family for 10 years. 10 years, I was in my isolation, exile from the earth. It's just like, I don't know who they are. It's just, I,
Yeah,
I
it's
set
crazy.
I set this straightforward. The only time we shall talk when we are in each other's presence, when we see each other, is just strictly business. This, and I told them, I'm going through anxieties, depression, and they knew what I was going through. Basically, they thought I needed to go into some type of treatment, psychiatric. Psychiatrist assistance and help evaluation, and I told them, and I had this going on in my mind. You don't understand. There's nothing could help this condition except going through the process. But yeah, it's just 10 years I did not eat with them at the table. But then after about the 10th year, I finally was invited to for dinner. So I sat at the table, ate, and things normalize. They're normal as can be, but I can see them fluctuating to the dark to the light. I can tell when they shift. I can tell, and I can see when the dark entities are in there, the extensions of the dark core computer, anti-version of source, the devil that I call. I can see Lucy the goat, Lucifer, when this entity
Yeah.
shifts in somebody. Any level of a dark entity, I can see him right away. I can just feel the energy, but I can definitely see it too. But I never turn dark. These dark entities are like angry 5-year-old king baby programs. It's just like children. That's what they're like, these demons.
Yeah, one thing I've understood too is that everything you do, even your mistakes, are by design and on purpose. So
Yeah,
the best thing to do is just work through them. Pretty much all of them are for me.
yeah. Is there really a mistake? This is the view, the perception I have.
No, exactly. No, there is not.
The, there is there is conditioning. I shall gain complete success through my failures to finding I just erased all failures as success because I see all the failures that lead to my success as conditioning and inevitable success shall be attained. One's vision, projection of thought, of intent, of programming is what programs the reality digital holographic projection being projected, modulated from one's thought core, their core essence to the energy being. Who are you? You are your thoughts. That is your core essence to your energy being creation that some people call soul, spirit, or spark. That sits in this machine called the flesh suit vessel surrogate machine that I call.
Yes, happy meat flesh suit day.
Yes, we had to put on these suits. Okay. And in different dimensional beings, you can be in a more type of machine suit that goes over this energy being,
Yeah.
energy flesh being machine. There's another
Hey,
machine that
talk
could go
about
over.
that suit. Talk about that suit that you were just mentioned. Expound on that. I remember you told it one time, but yeah, it's pretty neat. But my buddy Lonnie, he wanted to know more about it.
Well,
The one that, yeah,
you,
yeah. Go
you
on with that.
there's no, once you become aware once again, you will know that you are a very technologically enhanced energy being. The more advanced civilizations, when we return, we shall be returning, many of us, amongst the most advanced civilizations, amongst the most advanced civilizations to go with that is the most advanced technologies. And it's not uncommon to see a singularity being wearing their energy armor, gate, watcher, suit. That is an energy type of sentient symbiotic armor. Well, you could design it with no limits. It's just there is no limits in your imagination of geometric construct design and what it does. It enhances whatever you want it to enhance. Okay. So it is a type of metal, living, sentient, symbiotic energy armor with geometric constructs, shapes, and designs that I have not seen on this planet represented yet and probably cannot be represented because only in higher dimensional planes and channels the geometric constructs, crystalline structures of energy to the molecules, elements become so intricate, symmetrically intricate, it is not reproducible on this dimensional plane. But anyways, I had I don't. This one wasn't an astral travel. This was a dimensional travel to where I had to find that some of us, most of us, when we awaking, shall know that we are actually watchers, gatekeepers, and also we take our rounds and watch the portal and gateway to this dimensional plane. So I had to travel there, and when I traveled there, I seen all the watchers sitting on the seats. How does it look like? Well, it looks like the stadium where they play football. It has all the levels. That's where all the watchers have their seats spaced out. It's kind of was really not so lit. It's kind of dark and gloomy, but enough to see the details. The thrones are usually like stone type of seats, like old king throne,
Mm.
cement stone seats, but they can be changed. They can be modulated. So when I arrived in that dimensional channel, I arrived about six 6 meters away from a watcher sitting on his throne, his seat, watching the portal and gateway, and many others. This was about, I'd say it was about 4 miles wide, this type of stadium field. And at the flat bottom where they play football and play the sports in these stadiums, that's where the black portal and gateway is completely pitch black. I knew that was the gateway to this dimensional plane that is watched, that cannot be breached, but there is watchers watching just in case, but nobody could come through unless they have the correct frequency resonance. So if you're wondering how I got through, I was allowed to go through there because while I was in meditating in a very dim room, sitting on a seat, just meditating, listening to music, something told myself, blast up really hard energetically, as hard as you can. I did. I knew how to project my energetic field up, and I blasted really hard up and through, and I ended up blasting through that portal and gateway, that dimensional channel gate. And when I broke through, there was a ring of an atomic bomb explosion, no mushroom, just like the ring from an atomic bomb that explodes, that went throughout that whole level where the gate watch, the that portal and gateway, where the watchers watch that portal and gateway. They call the singularity
Wow.
initiate watchers. So when I arrived there, there was one watcher about 6 meters in front of me to this side here. And this person looked at me, they had their full gear on, energy armor, looked amazing. I can't even translate it, way beyond any Avengers or Iron Man suit or anything that's ever represented. But you cannot see the eyes, even though they had an energy suit on them. They had two plasmatic fields of like a dark royal blue of plasmatic types of energy around their eyes. I knew that was to protect them in case a demon could get through. That is impossible. Too many watchers. Even if there's one watcher, impossible to beat the one watcher. They are just well disciplined in their arts of taking care of business, energy work, energy frequency tuning. So basically, the eyes are protected. So just in case something comes through, so that no, the eyes are receivers that we have. They receive data and translate it into the visual translator decoder to the mind. So this is how viruses here in this dimensional plane, if you're not learned and have not already filtered your eyes to filter out dark light programming. So whatever, everything you're seeing is a potential virus insertion through the eyes. This is why the watchers have plasmatic fields around their eyes, guarding their eyes. So really you cannot see their eyes,
Mm.
and the energy shoot is over their eyes. So this person looked at myself, stood up. I already knew I was communicating with this person on a different level of energy that I define like energy of awareness, of feeling, language. And I was communicating with all the watchers there. There might have been maybe 300, maybe more, maybe less around there, but many of them throughout that 4 mile radius stadium with the seats going up like an oval. It was oval, just like a stadium where people play sports and people go to watch and sit on the booths. That's where the watchers had their seats. So I knew he stood up, recognized myself. He sat back down. As soon as I arrived to that dimensional plane, I knew everything I needed to know about that dimensional so-called channel, to that level within that channel, because I was synchronized to everything, to this, I guess, to source that was synchronized to everybody else. And you could, I was communicating with all of them at the same time and having response and reactions and conversations on a different level. It's just, you don't talk, you just know everything that's happening. The information, you can be talking to billions of people at the same time, but that wasn't the case. But I was communicating with all of them, and I knew everything about the conversations that were directed to other brothers and sisters there that were watching the portal and gateway seat in their fully armored energy gear, singularity suits, I call them. Extensions to their energy being, energy suits, singularity, energy armor, sentient symbiotic suits that are basically fused to one's flesh. It is an extension of the flesh, basically. So also I was made aware above the portal and gateway where the pitch black bottom would be the playing field where players play is a digital holographic interface computer screen that I did interface there with. It is all of creation, all of galaxies, universes, layers, levels, overlays, sectors, star systems. You could even you could even, if you want, synchronize to a certain sector, go into a certain planet. You can see what's happening in there. It's basically the all interface to all of existence, to all of existence, period. Like I define galaxies, universes, and the layers, levels within there, the stars and the sectors and the existence of beings. So that is like a computer interface where you can review and see anything and everything you need information about what is happening in different dimensional planes, channels, and that within that levels.
Let me ask you this. When
Sure.
I first started doing like being aware where I was, it was like an instant, almost like an activation for me in 2016. And when I started seeing the things in of this world, you always start to wonder which is good, which is bad, which is fake, which is real, um, which is symbolic, and which is not symbolic, but a warning. You understand where I'm going with this? Like I would say, the representation of the armor suit would be black goo, because
Yeah. Blood.
it gets on people. Yeah, black goo. The other
Black.
representation was the eyes. You talk about the eyes. Are the eyes red? Because I've
You can
seen entities with red
you,
eyes. Are they good or are they bad?
you couldn't
You
see no
know.
eyes. It always was two plasmatic fields guarding their eyes. So I presume
Okay.
that even beyond the plasmatic field would be a type of lens to the armor suit where the eyes are really protected well because the eyes are a main portal and gateway of an infiltration violation to one's soul, their thought core. Okay,
Hmm.
so do you ever hear this before? What's that saying? The eyes are the portal to one's soul or the gate to one's soul. It's true. Yeah, to their thought core is one soul, spirit spark is their thought core, their energy core essence. If one asks me, what am I? What would I describe myself as? I am my thoughts. My energy core essence to my being is my thoughts, a thought, energetic being, spirit, soul, spark. This is what we truly are.
Do you remember I showed you some photos? I had like 5 of them. I told you my girlfriend at the time took them while I was in um, Orange Beach, Alabama, because I was a plumber. I was on night call, and this thing come to her, and you could see the eyes of it. It was like a cloud, but you could see
Yeah,
the eyes.
I seen that photo. Yeah, I remember that photo.
Okay, what's the reference? You say you can't see eyes, but yet in that you can see eyes. So what's going on there?
Well, it's most likely could be a demon, could be just fuckery, right? It could just be an insurgent to be a distraction to somebody for other forces to work them at the same moment. Usually that's how the whole dark matrix works. They throw in a distraction, then boom, you get an attachment to your back or you get a different hit from a different side. So a lot of the tactics of the dark matrix, I define the different dimensional channel where
I
there
would
is
agree with that.
it's usually done with a distraction. You may have a major distraction, a plane flying by, all of a sudden you get a kink in your neck on that side. Well, they're suckered you to look this way. You got your attention up here, and then you get a blast, a detachment, or some type of manipulation happening on the other side. So either
Well,
way, what?
I think what happened with her was it was a it wasn't a distraction. She asked for it, and like weeks later, she's speaking in tongues, and then weeks
Yeah,
after that, I'm in jail for something I didn't do. You know,
yeah, it was a
so
setup. I call it like a setup insertion, right? You guys got
hmm,
inserted with, you got scripted. You got scripted
she
by,
did. Yeah, she got scripted exactly. Thank you. There you
you
go.
guys
But she
scripted.
asked for it. She wanted it, so it was real easy to do there. Especially when you ask for it and you think that's the right way, when in
My
reality,
my question is, how did she ask for it? Was she doing
because
something
okay,
like?
here's what happened here. Her mother, being mother-in-law, she spoke in tongues
Okay.
at this church. Okay, and everybody thought, oh, she's got the gift from God. God. Yeah, it's from God, but it's GAWD. Anyway, I digress. She always wanted that, and then she met me and things started happening with me. And she basically was jealous of that. So she wanted the gift of tongues like her mother in law had. And the dark matrix give it to her, along with all the dark energy that comes with that
So
fake.
what was she jealous of you, boy? That's my question.
I don't know. I don't know why she was jealous. I
Oh, yeah,
can't.
okay, I get what you're talking about. Just sort of how relationships some end up being with the jealous, possessive type, right?
Yes, exactly.
All
And
right,
the
all right.
fact that she didn't have any of these God given gifts that she thought she had to have. So when she asked for it, it came to her and she got it and it turned her dark.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
always say this: be careful what you ask for. More or less, should be precise what you ask for, and make sure you review what you're asking for, not getting yourself into trouble. So when I took the dark path, and if somebody wants to take the dark path, they sure can, but you're going to be in for consistent energy work, energy frequency tuning, and consistent dark and neg energy manipulations and deceptions and scripted programming and stuff like that. Gang stalking, if you're having it, will go off the Richter scale with the noise campaigns, visual campaigns. Some days I've had in the past, I've had days where airliners flew by one after another nonstop for maybe 7 hours of the day, and it's just like, come on, this isn't normal passenger planes flying by. This is like surround, and plus they're really loud. They're way up high in the sky where they usually are, and you can hear them loud, like they're flying really low. So major
Yeah,
manipulations.
exactly. Yeah, it's like you said, be careful what you ask for. Yeah, and
Yeah,
sometimes the worst enemy can be yourself. You know,
and yeah,
definitely.
it could be. Yes.
Yeah, that's what a lot of stalkers or gang stalkers don't understand is that how much they're doing it to themselves. It's really hard to get one out because it
Yeah,
is so real.
it is. It's like a lot of deception. It is like you are kind of doing it to yourself, but you're being manipulated to sort of keep yourself in a locked type of loop of resentment. Right? The biggest trick is the gang stalking is to get one in a loop resentment where this is happening and this is happening again. But it's a little bit more than that. It's going to take one to be completely conditioned to not turn dark. Like for yourself, your gang stalking only lasted like what you said 6 months, then leveled out. So, but I'm sure you did something to change it all. It just didn't stop by itself. You had to basically, if I'm correct,
Yeah, I
you
know it
didn't really
didn't. Yeah,
turn.
I knew it didn't exist. That was me. That
Yeah.
was my dark side making it upon myself. And what they do is they do it in the physical world, and then it brings you to a spiritual battle also because you being a being, you bring that spiritual side over with it.
All right. I was going to ask you, how did you
Yes.
realize, like, what did you do that majorly changed that I defined the game, the deceptions from the dark
Um.
side?
Yeah. Well, I ask myself that sometimes. It just became natural, a natural just being and knowing that what you do is right, even your bad, even your mistakes. You always strive to do the best out of that outcome. And sometimes you have to do things that you shouldn't have to do. You know, that's why a lot of us say it is what it is because that's what it is.
Yes.
So that's how I can't really put a definition on it. I can't really give you a pinpoint. I just lived right, knowing what I did. Just like every time now, going through this, I would get in an argument would come at me, so I would take it on, and in the right mind, every day after that, for it's been about 6 7 years. Every day after that, I would get a gift the next day from the universe.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
yeah,
quite a process. I was going to ask you something else, but it kind of slipped away.
no, it is quite a process, and I don't not to quote the Bible, but there are parts in the Bible for us, like the spiritual man. answers to nobody. Yeah, everybody answers to him. Basically, I'm not paraphrasing here. We don't judge. We judge everything, but nothing judges us. It's not capable of judging us,
Yes.
and it's like a little playbook, so to speak. So it's there. It's just not for everybody. I don't suggest everybody read it, but because it can be part of the matrix and be your downfall. But what better way to hide the game plans but in their own book?
Yes, exactly.
Pretty good, pretty
Exactly.
slick stuff. Hmm.
Yeah, it is. It is slick. Their tactics are very slick, and their tactics are usually to entice somebody to dark behavior, character traits, where one shall entrap themselves and get themselves looping with this.
Yes.
How could I decide a facade of a skin, like a being? Like, so you ever see those? Like, some people go out there and they're set with their own setup of darkness, where they're in that totally ego inflated state of um, pride, arrogance, and so forth. So the biggest
Mm.
deception is, the biggest trickster is ego to identify. I had this one teacher once. Who was he? He read this one article of somebody. I forget who he defined as an egoless ego would be the perfect ego. So defining to not have an ego would be the perfect ego. Okay, so but
There it is.
ego is a, how can I define this? Right? Like
Yeah,
for
it's a
myself
slippery
too,
slope there.
it comes in ego, but sometimes it comes in, but it's a distraction of okay, okay, I got ego. Okay, ego is very deceptive because it's always one inflating themselves to the outside point of view, to the inside, perceiving how this person is seeing me, how this person is viewing myself. So, in actual, what ego does, it keeps one busy thinking rather than feeling. Keeping one sensitized really is keeping one in the thought. If one thinks too much and isn't feeling, they're in the what I define the sensitization. They're in the dark matrix channel, actually being harvested their thoughts because they're busy thinking, distracted, not doing any energy work. So ego is quite a trickster that tricks many people. So
Yes, yes. He comes in somebody trying to praise you or build you up, but doing it in
yeah,
a pushy and in an aggressive way where it has to be. There is no other choice.
yeah, it's just waste of time. It is just
But
like a
they got
distraction.
that
It's
with
another
each city.
it's another distraction. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know.
but it's one that can really destroy you if you're
Oh
not
yeah,
if you're not ready
def-
for it.
okay,
Bad.
what ego does, it distracts one from their energy work, if they're or being distracted from your feelings. Basically, you're leaving yourself open, you're leaving a portal and gateway open, being distracted. And what enters through portals and gateways is basically manipulations, the deceptions that I define as dark template insertions, digital holographic insertions, templates, programming, also known as dark character behavior traits of demons, types of demon programming, deceptions, cords, hijacks, hacks, splices, and manipulations. So,
Yeah, I'm reading the chat. The chat just loaded all of a sudden. It was froze forever. So I'm
oh,
just
okay, it
going
was
through it to
frozen for
see.
all. That's what I was trying to look through, is the chats. Yeah, it'd be nice to have somebody come up. Anybody'd like to come up here and bring things
Yeah,
to the
don't be
table, by all
afraid.
means. Yeah, don't be afraid. It's a good experience.
We'll tell that to Bex. Don't be afraid, Bex. Come on up here. You know how scared you are to
Is
get up in front of everybody and talk.
is Bex here?
No, I don't. She was. Yeah, I think she is. There goes more. Dang. Yeah, she's here. I think it
All
says. I
right.
see. Yeah, yeah. Nobody
Maybe
likes
she's
us
shy
anymore.
today.
See. Hey, nobody likes us anymore.
That's okay. We like ourselves. We'll keep this busy.
That's right. That's right. Oh man. Yeah, I just like some of our communication is it's rather funny. It's making it.
Maybe
It's like, you can make the funny. You can make the dumbest shit into the funniest stuff. Sometimes, by the way we think about this world, it's a
it's all,
beautiful thing.
yeah, it's all, it's, you know, it's all perception based, okay? But to add to this, I'm having a good reality. Okay, I'm at the point where I am going to seek a relationship and I'm going to enjoy it. But it's all perception based after this. It's what do you want to project? Your
Yeah,
character,
exactly.
the character, your energetic being design that you're making yourself to be with your thought projection emissions that are frequency field emissions. You're making yourself to be a magnet to attract the same type of energetic fields beings. Okay, so if you're out there dark, you're going to have dark experience of events. If you're out there programming, projecting with your thought aware, better existence reality for yourself, you're not really going to attract these people. But these people could come around to tempt you. Maybe you're going to have a really good day and you get some guy come up, F you. What are you going to do? Well, for myself, is sometimes the best answer is no answer. And plus, I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to reverse me to turn dark, to argue. Arguing is dark. When
Exactly.
you know yourself, you don't argue. You may give a reply and walk away, but to somebody who's really dark, trying to work myself, the best answer sometimes is no answer and just walk away and ignore them like they don't exist, but awarely what you're doing, being aware. So yeah, it
Hmm.
is what one is perceiving, projecting to attract, they shall attract. So the more aware one becomes of focus, the more control they have of the reality. But of course, they shall go through their conditioning levels that I define, the rehabilitation levels. And if one is being majorly gang stalked, well, you're being majorly energy manipulated to be tortured, at the same
Yeah.
time harvested, energy siphoned, converted, used as loosh. Anyways, welcome back. Hello.
Hey, Bags.
Oh,
There she
hello.
I
is.
Sorry. I'm a
I
little bit
think
shy. I'm
I
a little
think
bit
it
shy.
I think it's a bot. I think it's a bot, Phil. They paused. They had to calculate the algorithms. I don't know.
I was changing my name. I was adding another word to my name. I was like, but I really appreciate you calling me up here. I'm quite shy, you guys. I don't,
Okay.
it
Yeah.
makes me
No,
feel
I'm with you.
encouraging to come to the panels. But I'll tell you, Sing, that was me that said, "Oh, he's in slow mo." I was behind when I came up. When I first got into, I was on at
Oh,
So Amas for a while, so I was behind. So I wanted to catch up. So I tried you at 1.5 speed. I was like, no problem. Then I tried you at 1.75 speed, no problem. And then at 2.0 speed, it was fantastic. Okay. Because it doubled down on what I learned the other night when someone showed me somebody talking really, really mean about them and getting really, 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 really angry. And I said, let's try it. I didn't want to watch it again. It was 10 minutes. So I said, let's try it at 1.5 speed and then let's try it at 2 speed. But when someone's really, really angry and you run them really fast, oh my gosh, it's so funny. Okay, like we should just create a spell on the world that whenever people get angry, their voice starts going out really fast and they sound like Donald Duck or whatever, right?
I'll be like,
But whereas for you, it's the opposite. I mean, not the opposite, but I mean, you're so centered. I was listening at 2.0 speed and I could hear you're jovial, happy, like centered. You can see the smiles, right? And then as I caught up and it went down to 0 speed, that's when it started to go like slow mo. It was me. It was me that, you know, I would love to listen to things at 2.0 speed all the time, but honestly, I talk at 4 or 8 times speed when that happens. I have enough problems talking too fast.
okay, Beck, stop effing with the system. I don't know what you're doing, but this is all getting even technological for myself. I'm not so serious. That's quite an experience. So you were adjusting the settings. Where did you get into that to do that? That's my
Well,
question.
on YouTube, you can't do it when someone's going live and someone's live unless you're behind. Then you start behind
Okay,
them,
okay,
and then you
okay,
can.
okay.
But any saved video you can watch at 1.25, 1.5, 2.0 speed. And let me tell you this much: I've just learned talking to my good friend Marcel, our good friend Marcel, this morning. Um, I just discovered that I probably could speak Dutch and German, okay, if I slowed it down to 0.5 speed. But
Okay.
that's because I speak Spanish and I understand some French And so then there's a bit of building blocks there, but I was like shocked when I actually slowed my ear down and said, what did you say? And it's like, it's amazing. Like, you're so right about us being like highly advanced, like biorobotics, beyond what even the word biorobotics would mean, because we've seen bio as dirt. We see bio as dirt,
Yes.
Not, well, you know what I mean? That organic, that bleeding, So
Definitely interesting.
yeah, but I've always resonated with what you say. I've, like your lexicon of, and not that it's yours, but the lexicon of language that you use to describe what you understand, at least as it's a bridge, but it really bridges that physical, metaphysical. People forget that physics is physical, right?
Yes, of course. That's where the
Yeah.
words are derived from. They reflect each other. Physics, physical, and then techniques or technologies.
Yeah. Well, and about this language, I've been all over this electric language. Okay. Everything about us is all the language he uses electric. We just don't realize it, and I always, or magic, or some sort of magic, right? Some sort of, implication of power is what I'm saying. The language in itself has, the built-in, electricity of our beings in it. Like, to agree is to concur. And I don't know, I've been all over the place the last week preaching this, but anytime I say it, I can't come up with any examples, but almost all the words. Yeah. Induction, deduction, ception, reception, deception, right? Those are all, electrical words. Those are all words we use for electricity, but also for ourselves, and we never seem to associate it with our power. So I
Yes.
really appreciate the framework with which you move forward to help people remind themselves that, basically we're like, yeah, we are, well, we've been benighted, we've become unenlightened.
Yes, and this is where we're returning to our unification status and recalling and remembering we're extensions of Source. We're actually sentient symbiotic beings, technologically enhanced to a degree, is everything, right? What is the molecules generating all this reality is Source's core. And what is it? Well, it's a type of energetic field sentient symbiotic technology. Everything is technological based. As much as people like to think, there's a real, there's a synthetic. Well, what is real? What is synthetic? And what is the organic? Well, it's different frequency fields, different laws of physics determining the same structure of something that is resonating at a different frequency field, creating different laws of physics, creating different perception of the illusion of different elements that are all being generated from one core molecule, the one particle theory that I define, that is generating all this. So in actual fact, somebody asked myself, well, how do you know this is all technology? We're in a type of very sophisticated computer sector experience of events here to this simulation. Well, how do I know? It's just been revealed to myself. From the beginning of creation, everything has been digital and holographic projection, all designed from Source. So yeah, what you're defining about this, being revealed on this different level of existence, that we actually are more evolved than what has been revealed to ourselves, is totally true. That it's been hidden from most of the general population, that everybody is limitless energy, sentient, symbiotic extensions of Source beings with no limits. When we return home, this shall be revealed to ourselves and shall not be held with any restrictions. So some of us, everybody eventually goes home. Some of us will be going before others, but it depends on how one is going to really negotiate as Source to reveal this whole place, what it is, and also to be assisted and guided continuously by Source to complete whatever they need to complete on their ascension here to go home this cycle. Because I'll define this is not our home. This is only temporary, and many of us, this cycle, this lifespan, are leaving to return home. So I like what you defined as in electric energy language. Of course, yes, there's electric, there's plasmatic, there's even different fields that depending on how one is frequency resonance projecting themselves in the experience of events, feeling, how one is feeling, or how one is being going turn dark to be to the sensitized of the stimuli of the instincts, which we be defining the animal planet, solar and lunar, right? The dark planet. So it's all different fields of energy states within a channel, within that channel, levels of experience here for one to be accelerated, to start their return home, to be accelerated, and also start being reformed, reacquainted to the higher dimensional planes, how they're actually, we are being prepared for thought projection manifestation, being informed as part of this process with accurate information, and then things start to be revealed more and more and more. As you came up your Bex, you see you brought something to the table, then it brought more to the table, information for myself to work on, and then Phil is going to kick in sooner or later, and then somebody else may come here, and this is how it works, about assisting each other to build and progress with conversations that enhances our ascension and accelerates it.
He said
Exactly.
sooner or later. Thanks, man. You got confidence in me.
Yeah, I always do.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, I always do. That's for sure.
Mm.
Yeah, I was wondering if Lonnie felt up to come up. He should come up. He's got some.
Yeah.
He's got a. I'll define this. He's got a good energetic field, and he's got a lot to offer. If he doesn't realize it yet, I already see the future. He should be offering a lot. Okay.
I agree.
I can tell with his energetic structure, the way he carries himself, and also I can see what he's carrying, and he's carrying a lot of information. Okay, a lot. He's going to do his part when he is activated to the reference and region, and that's how it shall be. So whatever it be,
I agree. I agree. I'm getting him up here right now. I'm getting him there. I'm doing it for him here.
Yeah, it's happening.
Yeah, I was thinking about what you were saying about harvesting their energy. I never, harvesting the energy of the negative people towards you, flipping the script that far. And I'd been caught up in subscription and subscribe this week, sort of understanding that, if I'm a subscribe, okay, which I'm a subscriber to the person whose channel I follow, then they're a scribe, right? They're the scribe that I sub to, and then they get my loosh energy, and I've given it by consent, small print, blah, blah, blah. But just right now, I realize, no, we're called subscribers, right? They're the subscribee.
Yes.
Right? They're not the scribes. We're the subscribers, and they're the subscribees, right? So I've already gotten this far, but I was like, whoa, you're right. I can. And I don't mean like go seeking to harvest the anger of the angry people, right?
Everything. Everything, Bex. Remember, I read this article one time. It defined we're here to clean up the negative energetic fields, and it is absorbing, processing, and converting all bleeding dark energies. Periodically, I do a complete scan to all levels, layers, and overlays, and I process as source guides me. I do. So what you're defining is as much as you can process, bleeding energy is up for grabs for acceleration processing to accelerate this ascension. So what you're defining is, yeah, you could do that. It's your choice. There's no limits.
You're right.
You're
right. Actually, you're right. Now that I'm more understanding of how the energy works and why I'm drawn to it, because for me, I'm realizing that this sympathetic. Everyone's like, "Oh, I'm empathetic. I'm empathetic." We're actually sympathetic, and our parasympathetic nervous system is being hijacked, right?
Yeah.
Because we're being told to tolerate and have empathy for people who we should be understanding that we can do that without sitting beside them. Right? You can sit beside people, you can walk up, you can read all you want about whatever information the world is feeding you, so that they can literally convert your sympathy and your sympathetic nervous system through program tolerance and meekness, essentially to where was it? What I'm trying to say is that you oh my gosh, I lost my thought. But the parasympathetic nervous system, essentially, I was yeah, so they've taken our empathy and taught it through tolerance versus understanding that, you know, if you really want to work and tune in your sympathetic and parasympathetic energy systems in order to transmute or harvest, okay, you know, which is, I guess, transmuting it to your own, right?
Yes.
Then you have to start being around compassionate people. They've taught us, and I mean shared passion, right? They've taught us that we're triggered, right? So I sit, you know, my dad, you know, causes my heartbeat to increase, right? You
Make
know?
his increase.
And so, yeah. So I sit and if I see a character similar to my father's, right? My heartbeat increases when their passion comes out of their mouth, whether it's directed at me at all. And what I think is happening is I'm being triggered. What actually is happening is via a parasympathetic nervous system, right? My body's tuning into the frequency and heartbeat of that person, especially the more that I sit with people with a similar heartbeat, right? And I don't need to scream to be heard, and they accept my passion to the point where I can lower my voice and try and really be heard. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
you know, to tune ourselves in. But
we can get excited just as long as you're
yeah,
controlling the
exactly.
energetic
Yeah.
fields.
I appreciate that. Where people on the same heartbeat can see that it's passion and they encourage you to do it. And then people who can't see it are irritated and angstful about it. And then you pick up on that irritated angst, but you have no proof of it. And instead, you know, you end up eventually, you know, both people end up eventually in a scenario where there's a misunderstanding, you know, when really what it comes down to is, hey, our heartbeats aren't synchronized.
No,
Right?
they're not.
Like our energies are not synchronized, you know, like, and it's good. It's okay to sit. Lots of people, the only way you're going to get synchronized is to do things together, communicate, sing, prayer, you know, but that's actually why they get people to go to church and sing all these things, because heartbeats synchronize together when they sing together. And if you sing a song that you don't care about, you're still going to have your heartbeat of your neighbor beside you in church, right? Like,
Yes. This is where I've made myself, reprogram myself to be a united, independent, singularity being singular status of independence defines I'm not synchronizing to nobody. What for? It's just opening up portals and gateways. Yes, we're unified to share thoughts and certain things if I decide, but I close all my gates, all my circuit when I'm finished conducting business. I close it all. And this is where I'm going to tell you about an experience, an event, and once you have this information and utilize it, your reality will never be the same as in what your experiences around other people. But I'm going to add some more is in the higher dimensional planes and fields, singularity dimensional planes and fields, there is no out conduction and up, because out conduction comes to our spheres and violates our energies. Nothing violates my energy. If somebody's projecting energy out towards myself, and even further, aware or not aware, it's being taken. That's bleeding energy. That's not negotiable in the higher dimensional planes. It's just we don't accept out conduction energies. That is defined as light being bleeded out. Only in conduction, glow luminosity of proper laws of physics. You see, in conduction, attraction of gravity of feeling is joy, is love. In implosion attraction fields is genuine unconditioned acceptance, no conditions, is love. Defining, we do accept everyone and everything, but it is the laws of physics that are coming to ourselves, violating our spheres, because we tune our spheres exactly the way we want them. I don't need nobody else's energy to come and disturb my house. Okay, so if it's coming to my house, it's being absorbed, processed, and converted, no matter who and what it is. As if they're a fair age that the luminary and Dorco computer decide, then it's being done. All bleeding energy is fair game. Even periodically, I scan all the bleeders, angry, hot-headed, and people having blind sex bleeding energy. I take that all, and so can you, to regenerate, rejuvenate your vitality, health and image. You never get tired. Even here off this computer tablet screen, I see it's a portal and gateway. If energy is coming through this way that it shouldn't be to my sphere, well, it's coming to my territory, to my property, so I'm going to be absorbing, processing, converting the energetic field. That is a deceived spirit soul, and in that process, whatever's being allowed to be done, I shall do. By source, of course, but now I'm going to represent another thing here. Perfect example that you defined with your father, because it used to happen to myself all the time. Okay, but now the tables have been turned. Okay, I've known this for a while now, become really aware and really potently stabilized with my energetic field frequency to my sphere. Nobody should be coming to it because it's a nightmare when karma returns now. Okay, so 2 times this happened with my father. When I was in his presence, he got really angry, fired up to myself because I did something. He's like, "Did you do it?" And I kind of escalated the situation. I'm like, "Yeah." I kind of played with it because I didn't do it, because I know he gets really pissed off. I'm kind of giving him his conditioning now. He really got flared up, and he had a pan in his hand. And he said something about whacking me in the head with a pan and the eggs. And he got really fired up and angry. And he's like, after that, he's like, you're making me tremble and shake. He goes, "Now my stomach hurts." And I'm like, I was kind of smiling, and I'm absorbing, processing, converting energy, knowing everything is also getting reflected to him as his conditioning for his karmic response and reaction state of records of recordings being returned to himself. So he got anxiety, trembling, shaky. His stomach wasn't feeling good. He's like, "I have a heart attack." And I'm like, I defined this to him. This is the second time. Another time it happened, and I defined it again to him. I'm like, it's not good to get angry with myself, because every time you get angry with myself, you're going to get this happen, period. And so I clarified it with him. And the second time it happened, and there hasn't been a third time, but if it does happen a third time, I'll just remind him, every time you get angry from now on, you're going to feel this and get worse each time. And he doesn't like when I say that, but it is the truth. I'm realizing myself not responding, reacting, myself also having my sphere tuned to be a united, independent sphere with source only on this ascension. Finding it, sure, I enjoy experiencing events with others, but I'm enjoying only my energetic field, not dabbling into crossing spheres with others, which makes portals and gateways, connections. This is what makes an empath. You know, somebody's sad, you feel the sadness. If somebody has anxieties, you feel the anxieties, plus luge, harvest, and reversal manipulations. So I hope that clarifies, Bex, a lot of just be aware, right? When you tune your sphere, when you're absorbing, processing, converting the negative energy, but also returning their karmic feedback response of whatever they're going to get back. And definitely it's not good what they're getting back. So firsthand experience, I see my father, it happened twice. He did it twice to myself. I already knew what's going to happen to him. It happens every time. Furthermore, when I go out, any type of trying to perp or throw negative energy to myself, not good anymore, because they're going to suffer in my presence like they've never suffered before, because now I am aware and focused of my, I don't like calling it power, but of my being aware of how to do proper energy work and knowing everything is going back to somebody that is doing exactly in accordance, if not amplified double, as source decides. So that's all I wanted to add in, just to simplify and inform you, Bex, like your perception shall be judgment day for people throwing dark energy to yourself. There'll be like double judgment. You're taking their energy, absorbing, processing, converting it, and also returning the karmic records of recordings, feedback, response as scripting, as source is going to give them back as a penalty and consequence for the breach and violation. Aware or not aware, beings in the presence of somebody who is aware, like awake and aware to their ascension and regulating their own sphere, is going to be a type of problem, nightmare, conditioning. Lolani.
Yeah. I really appreciate that added information, that added encouragement, Singh, because I do feel like the less I react, you know, I've had some situations in my life that I marvel at. My 22-year-old self is so proud of my 51-year-old self, you know, like, and 5-year-old me is like, see, you never even needed to go there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like coming home. It really is like coming home. So I appreciate you adding that next level understanding for me to really hone in on, instead of just like, we've always see healers, energy healing as something, you go to or people do for you. You never really realize what happens to the energy, right? Knowing what are they doing with the energy that they heal, or what are we doing when we heal ourselves, right?
Exactly.
So I really, really appreciate that sensei samurai. Like, hi, Lonnie. Nice to see you.
Hey Bex, how you doing? Sing? Good to see you
Hey,
again.
Lonnie.
Man.
Good to see you too.
How you splitting? I mean, how you doing?
Good.
Get it splitting.
Good.
Hey, so I heard you talking earlier about their armor, And you know, it came to mind, and I ran inside, and I was like so excited to say something, and then Phil's like, don't say that. But you remember the Green Lantern?
Yeah.
You remember where he went in, and when he first got the suit, and he went in, and all the lanterns were gathered around in that big stadium, and when he came there, they looked at him.
I remember that part. It was in the.
I pictured that happening to you, man.
Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah, that was funny. Yeah, I thought, what the hell? Because I remember when you told that to me the first time, I thought, man, that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty cool. And then when you were just talking about it again, then I thought, man, it's almost like I've seen that somewhere before, and it's exactly very similar to what you were describing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Have you experimented with any of that with your energy work at all yet?
not yet, but I've been pretty much asking Source, take me for a tour, I'll keep asking.
Keep asking, it'll happen. Part of it
Yeah.
is for the student to ask the teacher, not stop asking.
Right. Well,
Sometimes
I'm going to continue to.
Yeah, and that's the way to be successful, to receive information, is keep asking. And eventually it does arrive, and also the experience with that shall arrive too.
Absolutely.
So,
well, and when you're asking, I just wanted to say, when you're asking for stuff like that, remember that you're actually just, bushwhacking, defragging, right? Like, you're not asking for permission to do something, right? You're actually asking your own body to remember how to do it.
Yes. Yeah. But with the assistance of Source, because
Of course, yeah. But I see what you're saying. So yeah, can you be ready? I see. Source can be resistant to you being ready to do it, but that's just a matter of more defragging and more understanding of getting to it. So the permission, that I just think sometimes people sort of ask for things like asking Santa Claus for a gift, not really understanding that there's an information source that exists in you that is supported by forces greater than you, at your fingertips, that is the meaning to be here. That's what we're here to do, right? Am I right about that, Singh?
Yes. We're you know what the biggest lie is? We were exiled from the kingdom. Well, where is the kingdom? Well, the kingdom, Source's core, is in every molecule of existence, creating all existences, elements, creating your body. So in actual fact, Source is always with us. It's just the perception of one's being shall separate him from Source, from a lie. So in actual fact, we have access to all our memory archives that exist, everything we've been through. It's just a matter of asking to be reacquainted, how to access them and gain permissions, authorizations, is asking to be reacquainted. For myself, I've seen a lot and been revealed a lot, but also I've had pretty well the recall of what I need to recall, is where I came from, where I'm from, where I'm going, what is happening here, and yeah, stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, what you defined is accurate. Yeah, a source is always accessible. It's the matter of somebody accessing, period.
Yeah, that's something that I wanna work on and continue to work on. But the energy work is kind of where I'm at. Wanting to I don't know, dive into it, but knowing what I'm doing when I'm doing it.
Yes, and it's a process, right?
Right.
You're still at a very early process, but as you ask, you will still receive. If you want accelerated wisdom and knowledge, then bang away that question. Keep firing it at source. Hey, I want time to be displaced, time and space to be displaced in a couple of months, 2 months, 1 month, so I can absorb everything that I could possibly absorb as information and experience it. When I've asked Lonnie for time to be displaced, I've used to go for like near off grid on the farms for about a 40-minute walk. And I started becoming aware about asking source to displace time and space so I can pass this level on my walk. I kid you not, I kid you not, everything happened that I needed to experience, whether seen or not seen, the energy work, energy frequency tuning, first perspective seat of training to pass that level happened. It felt like 1,000 years. It just felt like that walk was 1,000 years. You just know you've been there for a long time. Even 1,000 years would be a short period to do that training. But as you ask, you receive. I always ask for time to be displaced, space and time to be displaced to complete the level and to definitely put me through whatever I need to put through, no matter what it is, no matter if I get it hard, suffer, anything is bound to happen. And I don't fear pain. Pain is just a harvest for myself. So is fear. So what I just go full into source defining. I don't care if I beat the black and blue sore from head to toe. I want this accomplished, time displaced within the reference and region of the period. And usually, you know what, it does happen. So as you ask, Lonnie Bex, you shall receive. You want to accelerate, then you shall accelerate, because even the Bible defines nothing is impossible with God. But let's replace that. Nothing is impossible with the primary creator source. Bex, are you there? Okay.
As you can see. Sorry, I didn't know I'd muted myself. Yeah, I was going to say that in reference to this change in events where people might need to see a pinpoint in the historical lore where we were separated from what we are, you know, I would say that I found one that coincides with the apple, the biting of the apple and seeing themselves as naked. Who told you you were naked, right? So recently someone was telling me about Noah on the boat and getting drunk, and then his son Ham seeing him naked, right? And then his two other sons covering him up. I'm like, the nakedness is the fault, okay? Like the separation from that known, from an eternity of knowing to nothing but a hair of that. Unless you could hold on, right? That's what we've all been building with that little tiny dot, right? You know, it happened to everybody, you know?
Yeah, and part of that, Bex, is you said it. Who said I was naked? Who said these beings could take my energy? Who says in the presence of this person I'm going to get anxieties and my heart's going to beat? Who said there's anything such thing as empathy being connected to beings? It's the liar challenging you to project the lie of de-traumatization conditioning, what I define as being pizza-gated. Okay, I stopped vaping for 2 days and it's gone. That experience where the only craving I had was I was looking for it where it was, because it was a habit to reach for it after a certain time and do vape. 2 days, that's erased, it's gone. It really doesn't exist. There's no withdrawal from the nicotine. I was vaping 18 milligram nicotine too, and I was vaping quite consistently whenever I felt like doing it. But it's all conditioning. Who says anything about the withdrawal? It's just demonic program scripting, dark. That's all it is. Like a computer I defined earlier. Take it out.
Well, yeah, and you're totally right about that, because the scripting is the writing, which I just looked up the word inscription, right? And that's to inscribe is to like engrave, let's say. But it's also, interestingly enough, a way of writing geometry where the lines don't touch each other of different symbols, right? Which I thought was interesting. So when you said prescription, did you just say prescription? Something about script?
Yeah, script. Yeah, about getting scripted. Scripted.
Yeah, scripted, right? See, dict and script are the same, right? Diction, dictated. These languages are all about our code. One's written, you know, one's spoken, right? And these triggers, right? These, you know, even the fact that they told us what trigger is, we've misnomered trigger, because a trigger shouldn't cause a response. The trigger should just cause enough to be on alert, right? If you're exploding, you're not triggered, you're not even in control, and someone's got to take your gun away, right?
Yes. But how about this? When you realize, like in the movie Fight Club at the end, the gun from the one guy went to the other guy, and you realize he's always had the gun, and the other guy was his dark double deception lie. So basically, triggering, there is, the way I've reprogrammed it is I don't get triggered, they get triggered. If they're going to pull the trigger, bang, they hit themselves with karma in my presence, and it's not good. Okay, I've reprogrammed everything I could possibly reprogram Bex for, to be a benefit and asset to myself, so I can start their karmic rehabilitation return of records of recordings, response reaction fields back to themselves in my presence, and prove in fact to be a family member. They used to get myself like yourself. No chance in hell that ever happening again. And I cannot perceive, I know, Bex, that no one where I go out shall be able to do what they once did, because it is like I become aware, but with the presence of, I guess, not guessing, sources with myself, really reinforcing my memory recall of stabilization to just know that it's not possible no more. So defining, usually it's family members that could trigger you, work you the hardest. Now, if a family member can't get you, then I go out there. I've changed my perception also, Bex. Everyone and where I go with is my mother and father and brother, because I know them well and I'm most comfortable around them, right? So in actual fact, the more I can perceive everyone as family that I know really well, like my immediate family, it makes myself even more set at ease, but aware, knowing they're going to get back their karma, definitely, just like the experience with my father. Defining, there's no matter of experience of events of negative energy being thrown to myself that is not going to be dealt with. So either aware of my presence or not aware, I am aware though, and focus is being returned to either defined state. So just taking care of business. And on this ascension, it is a type of where you don't need mercy. It's like a merciless but unconditionally accepting somebody with unconditional acceptance, no conditions, love. But it's like this: if you try to cross me, you shall be hurting yourself extremely potently. No one else. This is my understanding now, and truly embracing it. It's happening. You know, I've seen it happen, and it happens hard and fast. Doesn't take much for somebody to get nail themselves actually to the cross now, not myself nailing them. Every being in their ignorance shall crucify themselves to the dark rehabilitation, solar lunar matrix, or they shall go through the process of conditioning, that is, being crucified to the place of the skull of Golgotha.
Yeah, I was just trying to tie in crucifixion to crux point, right? Like, you know, people out there, I think they understand the process of what they've been told crucifixion to be, you know?
Crucifixion. And one Bible nailed it. Defined as JC was led to Golgotha. And then the Bible wrote in words, interpreted the place of the skull to be crucified, defining, well, what's at the place of the skull? It's the mind. Well, what's in the mind? Well, the motor cortex, the central nervous system, all your functions to all your parts, to your body's head, neck, and body, all parts, energies, and functions is regulated from the place of the skull, the mind, that shall torture one through their CNS to all their parts, energies, and functions. Is the worst crucifixion possible is to be nailed in the mind. The central nervous system regulates all parts, energies, and functions, and also can torture all parts, energies, and functions by messing with the nerve function, turning parts off. Is going to be painful. In the movie Kill Bill, when the female gets this one female in the trunk, I think it's part one Kill Bill, she gets this female, the secretary, in the trunk, and she's like, I'm going to be shutting off parts, and it's going to be really painful. Well, what are they talking about? I know what parts. The CNS that regulates organs, parts to one's body, nerves, flow of blood, heart, liver, kidney, pancreas, stomach, bowels, feet, toes, fingers, all parts could make your muscles cramp. So they're telling us in the movie Kill Bill, I'm going to be shutting up parts, and it's going to be extremely painful, and that I am doing too as karmic return, 100% guaranteed. At the end, it was written on this one spinal chart I was reading. At the end of the spine, okay, nobody really catches that. It's only OF, but at the end of one simulation, when they're deceived, at the end of the spine, the CNS, the matrix lingo. So if I'm directed to return that, sometimes I do return that integrated with my energy work, because I'm not recalling it myself. Well, definitely somebody is reminding me, recalling me, hey, you're balancing the accounts, whether they make it out or not, and decide to do their work is their business. I had to do my work and I had to act fast. When I first woke up to this simulation matrix, I was given 6 months, either 6 months, get off of everything. You have 6 months left of B2K, a spirit guide. I don't know what it was, to find myself how much time I have left, and also show me my death that I would succumb to if I did not acquire what is necessary within the time frame. So I got my act together and I did the best I could do. So here I am today, about 13 years later. So I made that reference in region.
I appreciate that. I was wondering, as you were telling that story, especially since said something about succumbing, and then I heard circum, right, which circumcised circumference. I was wondering actually if the concept of crucifixion and the concept of the original circumcision are the same thing, and that was a severance from source that then got turned into a physical ritual, because of course being disconnected from source solely in the flesh, people did not understand, right? And people, so I'm wondering if just like how they've taken the concept of crucifixion, and whether it was physically nailed on the cross like that, or whether it was a disconnect from source. They had to tell us that because we didn't understand technology. They couldn't be like, oh, war weapon from God or whatever, or from the harvesters, So that being said, I really think that this concept that it's sad to say, but I think they beat that guy so hard that he gave up. They beat maybe crucifixion is actually undergoing such torment. You actually decrease your light so much you've given up yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to the circumcision, which was a God's choice, right? The source choice to cut you off for a lesson, and they're both kind of there, but one involves, I think one was direct from, say, from source to Noah, and the other one was the human interface accelerating causing a reason to disconnect. All these people flogging someone who had a good message. Nobody listening, right? Him losing hope. Like, again, I'm speaking blasphemous here according to the way the stories are told us, but I really think that this crucifixion and circumcision are very similar stories.
Yeah, definitely it is. It is. What arrived to myself was, it is severing one from their root, their core, because the private part is considered the root chakra, the core connection with source. It's like severing one from their higher connection, unification, intellect, rational reasoning, and logic from their thought core. It's like a ritual, and that foreskin, I've been aware when females get their umbilical cord cuts and stuff, it's messing up the female, the mother, and messing up the child. And then they're doing magic with it, because who is aware to break the umbilical cord binding magic ritual? I've done that. I've broken that a long time ago. Okay, but also, who's going to be aware to do the foreskin ritual binding magic, so forth, reinforcing?
Yeah. So the circumcision is the crucifixion of the baby. Basically, I'm not saying, like, in essence, it's a man-made practice to make sure that trauma bond, right, is made and that baby can see the entity that made it right there, and that represents people, right? Yeah. Interesting.
And
I appreciate that.
How magic works, it's actually, magic is tapping into the computer sentient that is all around us. So that I define as generated by the quantum D-wave computers, and also the organic computers that can't be seen for now, that are sort of in the core of the Earth, and also represented as the planetary bodies, the spheres that are actually satellites that are computer orb cores. There's the levels within the dark matrix, the channels within levels are the orb, planetary sphere, guardian satellites that are actually very evolved computers. The planets aren't just planets. Sun, moon is in the planet. It's actually one split quantum computer. The core boss regulator is the solar core that regulates the other 13 quantum computers known as satellites, planet bodies, 13 levels. Last Supper, too. JC in the center, blue and red, represents the sun and moon center control unit computer energy orb called the devil. And then the 6 on the right, the 6 on the left represents the 12 other planets or satellites governing the other 12 levels to this channel gated frequency system of rehabilitation. Also representing the solar and lunar plexus is where the insertion is to that orb, making the torus field sustained and suspended with 6 chakras above the solar and lunar solar plexus reference and region, and 6 chakras below to the feet, representing the exact duplication of this simulation torus field around round 1, representing a parallel copy Earth experience, dark or light. So this is all in synchronization in accordance to that. Okay, so what I want to add with this is where I was getting with that, went a little bit off in detail, not off topic, but in detail to add more to people's comprehension and understanding, is the thought of intent of perception when one is more of an aware dark being. Thought of intent is when they're cutting the umbilical cord, if their thought of intent is when this cord gets cut, I sever the connection unification to source eternally, it's done. It's not going to be fixed. They programmed it into the molecules of the baby and the molecules of the earth, defining it's double cursed. This is why it's hard to get out of hell, but not impossible, right? Being informed, one shall get out of hell, okay? So the rituals are done with intent. They're tapping into what is magic. They're tapping into the 13 satellite planetary constructs with the solar and lunar core boss regulating the rest of the computers generating the simulation. So it's not just intent. Magic is tapping into the computer level programming behind the veil, reinforcing, changing the format code programming, affecting one's life. Yes. Okay, so there's a lot happening, but not impossible.
Do you think there's any chance that we're underestimating the power of our own, even as much as you understand that we're underestimating the power of our own capability, and that very computer that's holding us in this is our own construct and imaginations and beliefs in the lies that we've been told? So we're living a lie instead of living the truth. And we put it in terms of a computer because it's easy to see that it's outside of you and I intentionally doing that, and ergo there's some construct that forced this, lie on all of us. And I just, are you certain it's a computer and not, which again, if we're a highly advanced technological beings, then I'm willing to admit that I'm a computer, right? Like on some front, So well, do you think that we're a part of that computer that holds ourselves in this trap?
Of course, we've always have been part of this whole system sector. And yeah, we do, to answer your question, to clarify, we do underestimate ourselves. We are extensions of source. What people define as gods, we are way beyond the gods you see in the movies, what they can do. That's just something we can do, and much more. Perceive the mystical fantasy movies of science fiction, so the gods of Egypt, like that. That's very accurate, the technology, but not exactly what we're capable of. That's minimal of what they're capable of. So in actual fact, we're synchronized to all the computers. So for the computers are being generated from our thought core is what's building our parallel copy Earth, light or dark. We're generating our own parallel copy for this experience. Everybody has their own copy. It's being generated from their thought core. That is a sentient symbiotic type of technology, energy, or core essence to their energy being, projecting their digital holographic projection, parallel sphere copy, defining when one becomes aware. They don't allow nobody into their parallel sphere copy because they realize they need to regulate their own thought core without hijacks, hacks, violations, breaches. Defining, this is where I define, I'm united, independent with source. I share experiences of events with other people, exactly how initiated singularly being status are and how they regulate, but we do not and shall not cross somebody else's sphere. But if somebody's coming to our sphere with bleeding energy, we conduct it, we process the energies and give them back their dark energetic fields they're emitting, stating, hey, don't come to my sphere with this shit, okay? I don't accept this stuff. I'm a source core or origins program regulated initiated singularity being. I don't accept darkness, perceived emissions of light, anti-reverse fields. I don't accept them. So defining, keep your light, your projection of fields of emissions to yourself, get your shit together, do your work, and regulate your fields in, and so forth. Go through the process of being initiated, restored, reformed through through your conditioning, rehabilitation. So defining this should clarify your answer. Yeah, we are way more powerful than what we perceive ourselves to be, but now beings should be starting to get informed of actually how potent, if you call it powerful potency they have with their energy work, energy frequency tuning, that is modulating with their core thought of projection to this digital holographic projection system that is being projected from their thought core. And this is where I define, as we arrive to the future, the initiated singularity beings, the ones who are really aware, they're not going to worry about currency because they're going to realize a lot of things about currency, and near that reference and region where they shall attain their currency that they're required to establish their better existence, reality, heaven, whatever toys you want to buy, assets, it won't be necessary because we'll be arriving close to the thought projection manifestation where we shall be Mandela affecting, building whatever we want into the construct of our parallel sphere, where it's going to be in the records of recordings of all books, where it's ours. It's always been ours. And these things we shall not reveal because definitely when I arrive there, I'm just going to have what I'm going to have, and people are always going to know I had it. So defining, some things aren't meant to be talked about when higher stages are achieved of manifestation, period. This is way in the future. How long? I'm anticipating about maybe maximum 10 years to 20 years. So maybe before that, depending on how one negotiates with source and their acceleration is happening to this digital holographic projection. Reality already is a projection, sustain and maintain. Now the further ascension processes is one becomes aware of how they're synchronized to it and they've always been projecting it, except they've been automated until they woke up, became aware and focused, and reclaimed and regulated their own sector sphere copy, period. Then one can really attain whatever they want because you shall be revealed many, many things, okay? When prepared, there shall be nothing lacking as in assets and gains. And by that time, one won't even care about it because we shall be close to moving beyond. So it is a wonderful ascension that is going to be happening. But of course, everybody shall go through the crucifixion of the processing, conditioning, rehabilitation to be reformed, restored. And it is a process. So it's some it's going to be more painful than others, but it is what it is.
Yeah, those parts.
Mm-hmm.
Is my mic okay?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's all good. It's clear.
Okay. It was, you guys were not bogging, it was just choppy for, I don't know, for about a half hour.
Just for you though, because I've been, well, I guess I don't know. Was it choppy? You're right. I'm not watching on
I asked earlier and he said it was, Michigander said it was good.
It's all been clear to my side. I haven't heard nothing choppy from any of the speakers, so it's all been good.
Yeah, no, it's starting to do it again. Now you're bogging again.
Well, it might be from your side, Phil. Maybe you want to just jump on and
carry on. I just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, okay.
We'd love you to join in, though.
I'm trying to. Every time it does, I bog.
Yeah, Phil is on. He'll be joining in when he joins in. I know Phil, when he has something to add, he adds. So yeah, maybe Phil, maybe you could just jump out and come back in, and maybe you'll jump in through another portal and gateway, and you'll get some more information this time. Bring it with you.
There we go. Right on. I'll be right back.
All right, Phil.
Yeah,
right.
I downloaded the. I've decided to download the Nicotine Doesn't Hurt Me program.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you.
The transmute the nicotine and formaldehyde in my nicotine to a preserving agent that makes me age so slowly. And I know right now, don't zoom in, anybody. Don't zoom in. You know, I'm 51, okay? It's the added weight. I know, it's okay. But I'm just saying, I like to pretend it's the, formaldehyde in my cigarettes. That's
you know what? The nicotine shall do whatever you program it to do.
Exactly.
Right, I had my fun with vaping. I probably overdid it at the beginning. My mod even went to like 65 on its own, and I vaped once like that. I really kind of got too much nicotine. Anyways, it was a nice experience, but it stopped working for myself, so I let it go. But anyways, yeah, like I defined, the nicotine shall do exactly as you program it to. If you believe it shall do harm, then it shall do harm. But I studied nicotine. It's all beneficial for the cognitive thinking and many other things, and It's really, and it kills bacteria and germs. It acts as an insecticide. They used to use it as an insecticide. But if you study the nicotine and its benefits, you'll get a lot of information. So it is quite
Yeah.
beneficial, but it is
They
what it
actually,
is.
yeah, they actually say we have a neurotransmitter in our brain called nicotinic acid, right? It's
Yeah.
vitamin B3, niacin, niacinamide, nicotinic acid. So kind of like the cannabinoids, they're hiding the idea that there's a sacred herb there. It's a plant. Come on, you're just not supposed to burn it at
it's
400 degrees into your lungs.
yes, it's okay. But okay, here I'm going to represent something else. I'm going to bring something else to the table. Well, your experience of feeling the nicotine, I've realized this for myself. The experience of feeling the nicotine high, the climax high, any else other high, illicits too. I used to do illicits. It's just a program. I've copied all those, and I can release them at the will of command to feel a
I
nicotine
hear what
buzz,
you're saying.
just as potent as nicotine. Or sometimes, yeah, well, any illicit, I can really get that high to what state I want for free, because I've copied those programs and I could engage them to be active, execute their command and function with my will, with my thought of intent. Or I could activate many different illicits and chemicals and molecules to get an alchemization of a really euphoric high fix. So once one realizes it's just programs, these chemical molecules that are giving one the stimuli, well, they could inject them and release as much as they want, as often as they want. So this is where, yeah, we even try it with yourself. Actually, when you're not smoking, just release it. See what happens, right? You'll be like, why am I even smoking?
Yeah, I definitely will work on that. I know I'm such a mindless habitual smoker anyway that I don't even know if I understand what the feeling is that I get from it, That being said, though, I've always believed that, any of these drugs people do, like be it any hallucinogen, take the family of hallucinogens, that they are actually a key. They're a key. They're not a chemical. The chemical is to dissolve the key to the portal to access the chemistry that already exists in your brain, right? So you might be adding a molecule or two, but ultimately we've been shut down from these sensations, right? We've been, and a good example is one of the best highs I ever had in my life was jumping out of an airplane. I won't tell the story, and I don't necessarily encourage people to do it because every fiber in your body is like, get back on that plane and you have no choice, right? So you have to enjoy it, and it's beautiful. But it lasted for days. People call it an adrenaline rush. It's way more than that, right? Because you actually did go against your intuition to do something, to push past something that even intuitively after you've done it, you're in this situation where you've learned so much, but your body just was like kind of pissed off at you actually, but the brain chemistry. So then when I started stand-up comedy, which I didn't mean to do, I've always just been a storyteller with a good sense of humor. I don't write jokes. I'm just a truth talker who likes to add light to whatever I'm talking about. And I ended up on these, at a party telling jokes and then they had a talent show that they were doing. So they asked me to do it. And it was so much fun. I didn't even know stand-up comedy was a thing, right? So that there was amateur rooms. So I go to these rooms, and for the first time I'm sitting with people like myself, like en masse, and that was such a blessing. And then that they were the opposite gender, and that there was this age difference enough to make sure there was sort of no sexual tension, right? And then on top of it, you get into this scenario where you're just like being yourself, and a room full of people is like better than singing. They're laughing together, spontaneously laughing together, which is better than singing hymns in church. And that drug, I'll tell you, that feedback loop of making people feel good, and then their energy hits your energy, and then you keep going and you're telling a joke and they're laughing harder, and they're like, they think it's you, but they don't realize they've done to you what you've done for them in the whole exchange, right? And that was the most addictive thing I've ever done in my entire life, right? Was actually just straight up comedy. And I always knew that medicine also was something where I was like, why would you need to take a pill for life? They love to sell their pills for life, especially when they just invented them, and you're like, you should be able to take any pill, for a short time and tell your body, these are what I need. If the pill was with good intentions, for sure. Right? This is what I need. Make it, right? You might even be able to just hold the pill in your fingers, right? And be like, oh, this is what it looks like that I need, and then tell
Yeah.
your body to make it, right? So
Exactly. Or experiences, so you know your body knows what to make, right?
mm,
But
yeah,
I hear what you're
exactly.
saying, and yeah, that state of what people seek for the euphoricness is it can be attained automatically. It's just of recalling the sensation that is a program, and then just really realizing, make as much as you want with it of it, and release it to your receptors as much as you want of it,
Yeah,
right? Because your yet once
exactly.
thought core is it's a building factory projection simulator. Okay, it's a replicator. It can replicate anything. Okay, so it's easy to do these builds. But yeah, it's just yeah, for myself, it was just it was time to move on. So I moved on from doing whatever I needed to ingest. So here I am, right? I'm feeling good. So
hmm I
so it
saw
is what it is.
I saw a thing on the Matrix recently that showed her downloading the code to be able to drive a fancy airplane or whatever, right? Or
Oh, yes,
pilot an
yes.
anti-airplane. And then so when you were describing your um because it's not, well, you could call it down, we call downloading from source, right? So
Yeah.
it's not uploading, it's outloading, or it's actually defragging, right? Because you don't want it anymore. You're not going to save it, put in your back pocket and be like, oh, just in case I want to run this program again. But I really like that analogy you made of just like, just getting rid of the code, right?
Yeah, you can. You can get rid of anything you want, or add anything you want, or copy anything. It's like a computer. It's just you can get rid of a program, add a program, copy it many times if you want. I've made copies of myself. This is. I don't even know how many times I've jumped myself into a newly made body. It's so easy. People define, oh, use a clone. So what? I cloned myself hundreds, if not thousands of times, and it was successful. And it feels better every time I jump in. I build a new body, replicate it, then just phase it in through my thought core digital holographic programmer projector. It's easy to do. Beings could copy themselves into a better version and jump into it in a few minutes, not even a minute, take a minute or so, right? So I'm not surprised when some people say they have cloned somebody. Really? I perfected that technique too, right? So it's no big deal. It's like a computer, click and drag, make a copy and drop it, right? But
Yep.
modified, of course. So first, you don't want to be the old version of yourself. You want to be an enhanced version with each so-called upgrade of a copy, right? So yeah, I've copied myself many times, probably hundreds of times. Just also, yeah. So Phil, you have anything to add?
No, not right now. Not right now. I was just thinking about a lot of stuff you guys were talking about. Um,
I'm playing with the visuals of my couch. Okay, see that? See when I go up here? I think I look like my shoulders are as wide as the screen because where my shoulders sit with, I don't care. I just think I keep looking forward and being like, anyways, it's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just a certain
Oh, that's what
angles.
you're
I look like
doing.
this huge. I got this body way out like this and just a head.
We know it's the soul from Bex. You can't be that big. You don't.
It's true. That's true.
That's kind of funny though. I never thought of that, but it's funny what one's
Look how big
imagination
I
does,
am. Look how wide I am. I am Jabba the Hutt. I was gonna try and find no, I'm not gonna make any derogatory terms.
that's funny.
Jabba the Hutt. That's funny,
Do you
Jabba.
like my new name? It's not showing right now because he doesn't have our name showing,
Yeah,
but I got my I was
I was
playing around with
wondering.
it. Bex the Eternal Anti-Hex.
Okay, I got it. I was like, where the hell she get that from? The Eternal Anti-Hex. I like that. I'd stay away. If I seen that, I'm like, this chick's a witch. I'm not. It's not happening. The Anti-Hex.
I was just
We
trying to
just.
play. I was trying to play around. I've been changing it just when I'm up on panels, right?
That's
Like,
okay. That's fine.
but I've been looking at things that rhyme with the Bex. Nothing ever rhymed with Becky except for sexy. Ironically, now that I call myself
There.
Bex, I don't really want to use the sex, right? As the
Sexy Bexy, the anti-hex. You stay away from that one. She's totally black magic art.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
she chew you up and spit you out.
When I use the abbreviation sing
That
for
is good.
singularity and singular. But first I seen it on my comments. I'm like, what the hell are they putting sing on for? They sing a good song. I couldn't figure it out. I was just like, I couldn't see it. Then one day I'm like, they're calling me sync
Uh,
for sure, singularity or singular
yeah.
illumination or the singularity, my old channel. So then I adopted that. I put in sing. So some people seeing that may think, what's this guy sing, or sing a song, sing a happy song?
Yeah. At first you thought they were like, hey, sing, right? Like,
Yeah,
canta, canta, canta.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
that's
All
funny.
right.
Well,
It's all good. This is going very well. We're taking our comical break here for anybody who's wondering what's happening. Yes, we do joke around sometimes too, even though we're doing our business.
We joke around a lot.
yeah.
Oh yeah, we joke around a lot. Me, Phil, really hit the. We get creative. Let's just say that.
There you go.
We
There
go
you go.
beyond. We go beyond mocking and sarcasm. We just really creative with truth of accurate information. So it's cool.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, they say it is what it is.
I was always saying, bounce off me, stick on you. You know, I'm rubber, you're glue, bounce
Yeah.
off me, stick on you. But now I
Yeah.
learned from you, none of the bounce on me, stick on you. I'm a harvester. You're the harvestee or whatever. I'm just saying, like, I don't have to
You,
send it back
you,
at them,
you,
right?
it's going back when you're aware it's going back. It's like a return address on an envelope or
Yeah.
something being delivered to your house. I didn't order this. Send it back. It goes back automatically when you're
But
aware.
now
When you're
you're telling
aware,
me I can eat it and send it back? Like,
I do both. The negative energy comes, and then I give it back to them. They're double cursed on my side. They shouldn't be coming to my sector sphere messing around, right? That's the way.
That's right.
That's the way beings stop messing with you. Okay, when they know you know how to handle yourself with your energy work, energy frequency tuning. That is regulating your sphere, parallel copy, making sure nobody's breaching it to get into your thought core where it's being all projected from. Last place you want is entities in your thought core flipping up in windows, doing what they do, getting your attention, negative
Exactly.
influences. Somebody comes into my psych window, they better be prepared for the levels of hell because that's what I'm regulating. I'm putting them in hell to the levels I've seen and source guides me. Not a good place to be. I'll flip them into a cubicle of a certain level channel in the hell matrix, teach them a lesson. Don't come to my house. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a process. Unconditionally, I don't do that. Trying to send you to hell. It's kind of funny. I can laugh at this because this was be the last place I expect myself to be basically sending people to cubicles to be to conditioned. That is tortured, rehabilitated. Hey, don't come to my house. It's beyond Minotaur's labyrinth now. It's a risky place to come, right? Warning, do not trespass. I warned you. You're in my house. Okay, now I'm going to
Yeah.
do the
You must
process
be
the
this
source
tall to
shows me.
ride this ride.
Yeah. Warning, trespassers shall be sent to the levels of hell, not negotiable.
yeah,
Right?
I didn't write the program, people.
Yeah, it's just I'm working for my boss, and my boss is merciless. So that is source, as everybody does work for source. So I just listen to source because I don't disobey source. Why would I? I've arrived here by listening and obeying. So doing my energy work,
Exactly.
energy frequency trading. So it's just unconditionally all done. It's just like I'm seeing these misbehaving brothers and sisters kind of lost on their journey, trying to find refuge in my house, get some pollution and peace and resolve. It's not going to happen. Don't come to my house. Nothing here except hell. That's all I offer people, right? That way discourages them from coming to my house.
That's funny. That's
Sure, I'm
funny.
having fun in this so-called what I've achieved to the energetic states in my field. Nobody's coming to ravish my
Mhm.
fields and crops I've planted, right? That's my personal supply of energy that I enjoy. Somebody tries to come and take away my joy. Well, wrong place to come. I'm watching my house and guarding my crops, my energies. Okay, so this is what a successful energetic, successful energy work being done is. That nobody's coming to your house or my house to breach, hijack, hack no more. After a certain reference and region, it would be ludicrous. Yeah. I was
Mhm.
gonna say suicidal, but I don't know. Not the right
Mhm.
word.
Mhm.
So do you smoke weed too, Bex?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd
That's it.
be
I'm getting
deadly.
off the stream. No, you smoke
Right.
that stuff, no?
It'd be deadly, Sing. That's what I'd call it, deadly. Huh.
Why? Where did
And to get
you?
in our, to be in our field, like you were
Okay,
saying,
yeah.
suicidal.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So, how are all the commenters doing? Any interesting comments there, Phil,
Uh,
or what?
not really. People are pretty well. They either understand you or they don't.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I mean, it
So,
takes a long
any
time.
commenters out there got any interesting subjects to bring to the table? This is the right place to bring it to the table, right reference and region.
There you go.
I know it's reminding me of what people are talking about the spellcasting language, and hello is a bad thing to say, and these response. But it is kind of neat to see that in linguistics we've got two trends going on now, right? Like with the good morning, grand rising, right? Like because that is a sort of a response. If you're going to see that that's a negative thing you're supposed to be saying to me because you know what you're harvesting, then I can just be one up from you, grand rising, right? So you got people saying grand rising to each other, but it's also a good response, and it models that that understanding of the scenario. And then I just heard today that the response to hello is heavens high, right? Like hello, heavens high, right? And just like good
There
day to
you go.
you, you know?
Everything's reversed. What I've been talking about, implosion of gravity of attraction, of feeling down conduction. Hell is low where you feel good. You see, it's hell perceived is low, and high heavens is up and out the anti-field. You see, it's all reversed.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
high heavens, you don't want to be in the high heavens, never. You want to be in the hell low
Uh-uh.
feeling states, right? Of
Mm,
fire that is defined as euphoricness, ecstasy, and feeling
mm.
pleasant, energetic states. The high
I
heavens is when
see.
you're uplifted, anxiety, trembly, shaky, can't rev down, can't rest. So that's interesting you brought that up because it is reverse field teaching.
Yep.
You don't go to hell, you're going to be tortured. No, actually, I want to be in hell. I want to be in the lowest pits of hell. That is euphoric and pleasure. That is the root core to one's ground where you feel good, settled down. The root, the core, is interpreted as extreme levels of joys and pleasures as fire. There's no fire up top. Okay, up top is what it defined the electric high heaven, and the devil fell as lightning from the heaven. Yeah, lightning, lightning. You zap
So
somebody.
so I mean not to pry, but so you're talking in solely on a metaphysical plane or on this physical plane, not in some sort of like or so, like solely on that plane, not in some sort of like reinforcing of like people like sadomasochistic behaviors.
Can you expand a little bit more on that? You
Well, I'm just
got me complicated here.
more like the idea that when you're saying, you want to be in that root hell, you want to be like centered down there. That's not you're bring on the suffering kind of thing. That doesn't mean like to
No,
put
okay,
that.
okay, I got it, I got it. No,
Yeah, yeah.
and hell is not suffering fire. The high
Mm-hmm.
heavens is suffering electricity, electric. Hell of torture is electric, up and out. Down and in would be considered the hellfire of pleasures, joy, where nobody suffers. This is what I define. Hellfire has been interpreted to people as being pain. No, your euphoricness is the fire. One's joy, spark of desire, ambition to enjoy life is their fire of the better existence. Now, all misery, depression, and that is considered the up and out electric hell. The high heavens is actually, you don't want to be going up. There's no rest in the up dimensional channel. The down channel perceived they taught everybody is hell is actually the heavens. And the heavens above that they touch people is actually the hell electric. This is what I define as reverse field teachings, right?
So would you say that um, people who participate in BDSM are actually trying to replicate some sort of heaven electric pain, or would you say that they're yeah.
Okay. Now, if the intent is evil while having these activities, then it should be a stimuli of instincts of just responses. Dark programming would be the electric eye heavens, but it could be represented where somebody is doing that, where it's just to amplify the root base, not the head of stimuli,
Mm,
but the root base, different channel,
mhm,
different head of amplifying the euphoricness through having non-harmful play
mm,
characteristics and behavior
mhm,
traits, or you're just having fun and joy as a game, not hurting the other person with giving pain to them. Now, if somebody
mm.
wants pain and to go to that level, it's something I don't do. They've got to go somewhere else for that shit, right? Plus, I don't engage in that
Yeah,
BDSM, whatever. Maybe in the future I shall with the
yeah,
right partner. But the thing is, it's just playing. You're either playing to really hurt somebody and to harm them with darkness, or you're playing the game to enhance one's pleasure in the illuminated state, where is you're just having fun to pleasure each other, amplifying your pleasure and joy further, so you're not turning dark. So this is what it defines. Some
yeah,
people having sex turn dark. That's it. They're in a different
yeah.
channel. They're going to have problems with their climax and throughout the whole
Mhm.
process. Or self-relieving. Somebody not turning dark, doing it as energy work, energy frequency tuning, and definitely processing energies in that process. Then they're going to have
Mhm.
a much better so-called experience of events to whatever event they're
Well,
participating in.
and if we think about it, there's probably an energy being transmutated or transmuted through the general populace via the degenerative, like literally degenerative instead of progenerative, like literally, you know what I mean, like anti-creation versus procreation. You know,
Okay.
calling it a reproductive ability instead of creativity. You know, so the reason I think people would be drawn to that kind of suffering is because actually it allows them to not heal and transmute the energies that have them in a situation to be seeking in the physical realm, that as a way to, um, what am I trying to say? Like basically someone's feeling like they deserve to be harmed, or somebody's feeling like they um want to get back, like want to have power from putting harm on someone. I think that both of those cases are people who have not understood that you can transmute those feelings, you know, um, you can like that they've taken that understanding and that suffering that exists in them that makes them want to go out and do that, in my opinion. You know, just because it's a, yeah, I'm just saying I'm going to call it degenerative, and I mean that in terms of energy, right? Generation, right? In terms of movement, in terms of like it's resistance, you know, it's a lower
Yes.
level vibration, you know what I mean? Like it's not direct flow. It's like we were on another build today. We were talking DC, AC versus DC, right? It's AC, right? We want to
Yes.
be DC, you know?
And what you're saying is accurate. Okay. Some people want to have the engagement of the dark field. For myself, it's all about compatibility. I don't have a problem with dating somebody that may be on more the dark side ascending and also fluctuating in the light as everybody is. But the thing is, they need to understand the type of relationship they're getting involved with myself, because they're bleeders. For myself, they're going to be really tired around myself. If they're exhibiting negative energies, they're going to be really tired because, hey, fair game is no mercy, right? I'm taking all bleed.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
it's the way it
fucking love
is,
it.
right? Dog eat
I
dog. I'm
fucking
taking
love
the
it.
bleeding energy. And if they're not going to be able to be at my level of challenge, where if they catch me lacking, they take my. This is what is about being conditioned when you become aware to the higher states and levels of references and regions to ascension. Is I want a partner who's going to be aware. If they catch me lacking, well, go ahead, work me, take my energy, take my bleeding energy, which is probably going to be next to impossible, but it's going to be what it's going to be. But the thing is, I don't have a problem getting in a relationship, but I don't have a problem also it to be somewhat compatible where they know what this place is. And if they're dark harvesting, well, they're looking at the wrong place. I'm going to be they're dark harvesting luminary beings, where we are harvesting dark beings who are deceived, to find vice versa reversals, right? So it's going to have to be a compatible level where the person's going to know that, I'm not a codependent type of person, defining, whether you're with me or not, I don't feel any different. But when I'm with you, I enjoy the experience of events that are represented and enhances my euphoricness that I enhance through being aware, but I giving you now my energy. Or if you find me lacking bleeding, I get distracted in events, then you take my energy. They shall take it. This is what beings are doing, that are not telling other beings that their true nature in this dimensional channel is beings are types of cyberspace vampires, whether aware or not aware. When somebody's having extreme euphoricness and joy in general public area, reference, and region, well, that joy is all in conduction energies. Have you ever really felt good that really good in the day that some negative person comes up to you, it shifts your reality? They did it on purpose because you were taking a lot of energy, not being aware, absorbing, processing, converting it to your joy that is all of attraction, implosion of inconduction gravity fields. Defining joy is only one field. It's implosion, attraction, conduction is joy, is love. This is why when I woke up to the dark matrix, it was like I wasn't allowed to be happy because I wasn't allowed to take none of their precious energy. But now it's no chance in hell they're going to reverse my field to make me sad or miserable. I'm going maximum induction, and this is where I define all bleeders, anti-field, energetic fields, beings is fair game. So yeah, what you're saying, yeah, some people, if they want to be negative, go ahead. They're just going to be really tired and get karmic return from myself to themselves automatically, and they're going to be feeling their state of condition and not so happy around myself while I'm enjoying my own energetic field tuned sphere of joyfulness and happiness that is totally independent of their energetic fields, defining I'm not a codependent species. I don't need somebody to be happy for me to be happy, whether they're happy or sad. I'm just feeling what I'm going to feel in tune and frequency resonates my sphere, my energy core essence to my energy being to be at and exist. So the whole world could be burning and ours will be having a heyday of a joyful and euphoric, just knowing this is all about to end and I'm going home. You see, that's my perception. So nothing can basically make myself turn dark and get upset because I know I am responsible in the higher dimensional ascension references and regions. I know I am strictly and only responsible for what I feel. Knowing what I feel is energy, frequency, resonance, tuning, unification levels to source to a certain channel. So yeah.
It's gonna happen.
It makes me realize that, how they say flammable and inflammable mean the same thing, right? That's because it's all just because, okay, they want us to think that illuminated and illuminated means the same thing, right? When in fact, from our perspective, okay, they are ill, right? And you just don't go ILLL illuminated. You just pull one of the L's out so it can be like illuminated and the Illuminati, right?
Yeah.
They are illuminated. Yes, they're illuminated, but they're not well right now,
Yeah. And so once again, I've reprogrammed all the words. Okay, this is
exactly. I know. I'm with you.
When one wakes up, when I first woke up and I was careful not to speak certain words, I'm like, what the hell? Every word is a curse word if I review. Exactly. But when one becomes awake and aware, basically becomes focused, that they can reprogram their sector copy, parallel copy that they have, that everybody has, well, then really the spelling is blown off. And plus, if they want to try to speak spelling to myself in their vocabulary, well, enjoy your suffering, because I know you're getting everything back with your thought of intent that is dark and evil towards myself. It's getting returned immediately. So being aware and focused, everything at a certain reference and region gets returned. Good, let them speak evil. They just let them torture themselves more. Let them have the intent behind it. But if some being is genuinely just speaking to you without the intent of putting spelling on you, then they don't get their karmic return back, because they're not throwing any deceptive, dark, negative, subliminal scripting attempts to yourself. So like I defined, it's all about becoming aware, and then at a certain reference and region, it's like, go ahead. If you want to crucify yourself, really, here's the nails. It's your choice, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, wherever I go, I supply the nails now. Okay, I'm doing the crucifying. If somebody wants to turn dark, I'm supplying the nails. Okay, this is my purpose and design here is to rehabilitate people in the crucifixion, return of karmic response and reactions, records of recordings, and defining. Now it's our turn.
Yep. And it's a lot for
Yep.
people to take that it's going to be just change.
Well, but I'm with Sing on that
Yeah.
whole. You don't get, a number. Okay, you don't get like 666 like, I was trying to get my paychecks at $666 because I was working right around that
Right.
threshold, just to like seize back the power of like whatever. So same thing with words, right? But what it is about understanding is the cognitive dissonance that's been created in in taking different words and using them in different contexts, where if you taught us one form of English, right, all together, we would have put a lot of these pieces together at a different time. It's like,
Oh yeah.
They
Definitely.
purposely break up the language and the definitions in a way that you don't, without seeking. I assume, I'm going to assume now, it all could just be a natural convoluted program, like,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I agree. By design to keep you in the dark, literally.
yeah, I see Christos down there.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey Christos, if you want to come up and add some interesting builds, it seems like you've got some type of illumination spark there, so I would suggest you come on down. You're the next contestant on.
Oh shit! We got the link here. That's funny. That's different.
Although he smokes marijuana too.
Oh, that's it, Christos. You can't come up here. That's it. You do that. You do that. That illicit drug. How dare you? No, I'm not serious. I don't care what you smoke. You're a business.
I know.
All right.
I already know you well enough that it's amusing when you tell anyone what to do.
I don't care what people do. That's the thing.
I know.
Unconditional acceptance is so great and powerful at the same time, and really liberates one from being a control freak. Where are you? What'd you do? What'd you do? Who are you with? You know what? If I want a probation officer, I go commit a crime and get a real one. Not that I won't commit no crimes. Probation officers aren't good.
Basically, life is a video game.
Yeah, what you make it out to be, it shall be. And what you don't really enjoy at a certain level, when you start programming your video game, well, you start to really modify the game.
Yeah. And it's not called Sim City. We'll just take an homage from their own movies and call it Sin City.
Why not? Yeah, sin or not sin, it's all good.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
You want to not sin around myself? Yeah, that's good. You want to sin around myself? Even better.
If we're
Even better.
If you're synthesizing, right? Like if you're synthesizing or synthetic, right? Which I'm assuming synthesizing is another word for creating, right? I know we've been taught that things that are synthetic are wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I can synthesize whatever I want, right? You know?
Exactly.
So it's synth city.
Yes, Cynthia, and that synthetic organism that was released where in certain ocean they call it Cynthia, that sort of transmutated and moved. It looked like a jellyfish. It was moving. They called it Cynthia, for it came from a synthetic supposed organism. It was making some pretty cool shapes too for a while. Everything is changing in this town. Everything is going blacktop. They're like the end of days. They're digging up roads that don't have problems and putting tar blacktop roads everywhere. And I noticed once again, this started happening when I started going deep to my core, defining. Of course, it's going to go tar. Black goo tar is not black goo tar. There is a reason to the black goo tar. It is a sentient, symbiotic oil perceived by some evil is a false teaching. It is actually a really digital holographic sentient organism, very close unification to source at a level. So defining, well, when I started doing deep dives, like staying to my core, like staying synchronized to the core, to the underworld, to the underground, my underworld, under channel luminary matrix is to the core, is to my ground. Underground is ground. Your ground is underground, your core root base unification to source. Well, under there, what is so pleasing and pleasurable that all these illicit pharmaceuticals are made from? All the pleasures of the underworld hell is black guitar. And here is all these streets. And this town, when I really started doing deep dives, staying under, not coming above, all of a sudden they're constructing all these tar roads everywhere, like fast. They're building them fast, digging up like a lot of references to regions. If not this whole city, I anticipate in a couple months it'll be all tar coated, reflecting, returning to our core, fire realm that is pleasure, joy. So some people may be thinking, oh, tar, it is what it is. Study what it is, and you'll find out that more evolved computer
I know.
and phone screens are made from petroleum distillates, black guitar, and there's no metals in it. They just illuminate, give a perfect display, are capable of doing performing tasks without, it seems, a computer chip, because the computer chip is in what has been perceived as only oil. Well, what is this oil, this petroleum, this black guitar? Well, it is the blood of this earth. It's essence, it's energy. The computing power to this earth is, and always has been, these illicit synthetics. And that's why pharmaceuticals are made from distilled petroleum, that is also coal tar, known as also black guitar, defining that is sources bloodline to this level channel existence, defining sentient and symbiotic knowledge enhancement. So yeah, we're going to Avatar. We're going to Avatar is happening. Avatar, right? So this reminds me of Avatar. Why were they so enlightened?
Well, yeah,
because of the tar.
I think as much as your model might have a, I mean, personally, I one thing I feel like I'm doing is actually like, my journey is to take sovereign being in this body as not beyond my avatar, right? To literally incarnate in a way that there is no separation from spirit and flesh, right? Like in terms of ideally to skip the dying process and transform into the next level without death. You know, I'm not saying spontaneously combust here, you know, but that's how I see for myself.
Well, who says this is flesh? Your perception shall transform your body into the pure fire energetic being. At the core molecule, this is not flesh, it's all fire, it's energy, pure sentient.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Energy, it's perception. One's evolution of evolving, returning to the static condition, is how they're perceiving themselves to exist, is actually modifying their molecules through being informed with correct information. So is this flesh, or is this beyond? It could be here, or it could be beyond, or it could be somewhere so far advanced in the future that I don't even know what I'm constructed of no more, except it is very close to source's core creation, fusion, energetic molecules, right? Pure energy, sentient, symbiotic molecules is what we're constructed of. We are all extensions of source. At the core of all molecules, we are unified with source. We can never be source, but we are extensions of source, defining this is the body that's going to go beyond, if so you choose and design it and construct it and do your energy work, energy frequency tuning. This is the body that is pure energy that shall never decay from a certain reference and region when one becomes informed. Period.
Yeah, and I guess that's my thing. I'm taking it with me. Every molecule is my point. I'm not leaving after energy harvesting and lying my whole life and then getting my body and pulling my blood out after and whatever the whole dealio is they told me. I'm like, this time, no. Like, I'm definitely, you don't even get a speck of a molecule left behind. And in fact, every single speck of me in all your Monsanto labs, every tooth you kept, every piece of my placenta, every bit of my blood drawn, it will be taken with me as well. There'll be not a speck of me left behind for them to try and, I'm just speaking it into it. I'm just be living it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, hey, that's
just
what I've
playing, you
negotiated.
know?
That's what I've negotiated too. And even in the Bible, it's defined, right? Some of you standing here shall not taste death until you see the kingdom of heaven arrive. Well, what
Mm,
is the kingdom of heaven arriving? Well, the channel change. You see your portal gateway open up and you leave. You don't taste death. You
mm,
take your body and whole. Only one person in the
mm,
Bible was taking body and whole. It was Lot, because they defined Lot was so close to the Creator God that he loved him so much. He took him body and whole, and he was never found again. Yeah, he went through a portal gateway. He left. Defining, it's defined many times in the Bible how many of us shall leave as body and whole and
mm,
never be seen again here. Defining, when the moment arrives, some of us are taking body and whole through the channel, portal, and gateway change. I've seen channel changes with my eyes open. I've been revealed all this. It's how it happens. It's like a TV set. How I see this scenario here in this room when the channel changes. Source's core is like one TV box with infinitum channels within that infinitum levels. That it's like one TV box, and the channel changes like this here in this room. What I see is a screen. This is my portal and gateway here. It could be in the washroom somewhere, McDonald's where I leave. Right, that'd be funny. Anyways,
mm,
it could be anywhere. When this screen to this source core TV box, source core center changes, click, hey, I'm home, right? Wherever I've negotiated, I'm going. I know where I'm going. I've seen the future where my sector is. That's exactly where I'm going, to my personal appointed sector, luminary sphere.
Yeah.
In the
Hey,
future, final destination amongst the most advanced civilizations, with that amongst the most advanced technologies, and everybody shall be there when I get there, because this simulation where I projected myself to be the end sequence of my attainment is where this simulation has been completed for billions of years, where we shall be with everyone and nobody shall be here no more. Defining, this
mm,
is the completion of my final goal. Task is
mm.
to complete the channel change. Teleportation to the future defines acceleration, dilation in space and time, where everybody goes through their simulation in a flash, because I'm not here to torture people. I'm here to
Mm.
teleport my whole sector and get
Yeah.
home.
right.
That's it.
Hey,
Eh,
Sing, did you see? Can you look at the back chat?
I just wanted to say, in addition
Sure.
to add to what Singh was saying there, you know, part of my, like, I'm that person who always was investigating why we got to leave someone behind, why that guy's so bad, why that guy's so bad. There's this little kid, you know,
Mm.
trying to make sure that I was there at Judgment Day, arguing for the guy that everybody fucking judged and said was a bad guy. And then somewhere in the last few years, you know, I got really, you know, I had personal things in my family that had me get on this bandwagon. But I really appreciate that you have that vision, because, you know, I can't see, for instance, my father coming to me out of any real kindness and love in this lifetime, and that hurts, right? But I know removing myself from him has allowed him to not continue being degrading his spirit by being around me, right? Because he's the one who really struggles to be. And that being said, you know, just recently, as I started to revisit with all this kind of device and just sort of getting back into myself, I realized that, you know, why couldn't I be in a place where he brought me flowers every day for 100 years because he understood? You know what I mean? Like, why does it have to be so, like, I don't know. I think there's a place to of this. You know, I really appreciate your conviction, to your understanding, and your willingness to distribute it to us. And you know, chatting with you has been a real joy.
Likewise,
Coming
it's
home
been
of
a
sorts,
real,
you know.
real pleasure too. But I'm going to add something too. Just remember, we're passing through the dark night of hell. These are all Sith-worthy opponents, even family. Finally, they're going to give you good challenge conditioning. If they're going to give you their energy, good. Yeah, now you're well informed. You know everything's being returned, and being informed, and also going through your conditioning soon as you negotiate with source, to not be moved nor feel any of the dark programming, and to do the energy processing, the energy processing of absorbing, converting their energies, and returning whatever they're sending to yourself to be returned. As you negotiate with source, I highly suggest negotiate a time frame, a couple of days, or time and space is dilated, to get your conditioning, to you get the information, utilize the information, build your technique. They're building and practicing it habitually, and when your father comes around, then you shall be informed and aware and focused. As you negotiated with source, you receive period. Okay,
Absolutely.
so it all happens by negotiating what you want to achieve and accomplish as energy work, energy frequency tuning. So I cannot be manipulated by anybody no more, because I've negotiated this for, in the same manner I just stated, is for everyone and everything, not only family,
Yeah.
to receive back what their intent is towards myself, of aware or not aware of the attack or dark energy or scripting being thrown to myself. And on top of that, I get a bonus, is their energy gets harvested because it's being thrown to my energetic being and energy sphere, that is my parallel sector experience of events sphere, that is a parallel copy Earth. So all that being said, this is coming to a closure,
Dark
because
stuff.
we're hitting the 3 hour time limit, and this is what it was designed to be at for now. So we're gonna honor that, I am, and so forth. 3 hours
Thank
has
you,
been,
Sing. I appreciate it, man. Man,
yeah,
you've explained a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff resonated with me, especially in the beginning when you were telling it. Yeah, definitely a lot of good stuff. A lot to think about.
well, this is what it's for, right? And even though there's not a huge audience, this end sequence isn't about a huge audience. And for those on the panel who stuck it through and are somewhat receiving information or receiving a different expansion of awareness and focus of a different path or route that is now a probability and a possibility to take, this is what it's about. At the end of the first flood, there wasn't many saved. This is the second flood that has arrived. What's the second flood? It is 5G, HARP, CERN, cell towers, all Wi-Fi smart technology missions and devices shall repeat rebirth beings who are deceived by darkness. The second flood has arrived. How many of us shall go home? Shall be exactly as many as go home. The numbers weren't too much in the first time. The numbers weren't too much in the second flood. But definitely, as cycles repeat, as this all repeats again, the next cycle, there will be more. The next cycle, there'll be more. And so henceforth, there will be more and more and more each cycle. So if you are aboard this so-called destiny path of design here and now, I'm going to highly encourage beings, start getting busy asking Source to reveal to yourself what you must do basically to go home this cycle, this lifespan. And as you ask genuinely, you shall receive. You don't want to be stuck in this place, looping and being rebirthed, recycled, repeated for thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of years. That is a probability and a possibility. Though it may not take that route, but though it may take that route too, depending on choices that individual beings are making to their ascension process period. So I enjoyed all this. I want to thank Phil, the host, thank everybody who participated directly in this panel, and also thank everybody that was in the commentary section indirectly or directly on different sections of this panel. So this went well, the builds went well, the conversations went well, and a lot of information was represented that can be utilized to accelerate one's ascension. So until the next panel that I
Thank you,
participate in.
Shane. Much love,
Yes.
brother. I'll talk to you later.
Likewise.
Thank
You
you
all be
very much,
safe, everyone. Thank you, likewise, too. See you all
Thanks
in the
for
future.
having me, Phil.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate everything.
Much love to
I
you
just
and
hope
everyone else.
I just was hoping my sound was good because it's the last half hour or the last half of it. It's been sucking bad, but everybody said it
I
was
think,
okay. So
yeah, we just
we
got
meant to keep it short here.
Christo saw my name. I'm so glad. Epic. Did you see it? I'm
I seen that too. I was gonna say something. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny.
Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. Okay.
I wonder if Shane's seen that. Wonder if he's seen that. That was good stuff. He would have got a laugh out of that.
I'm like, hashtag everyone
If
wants
not,
to
I'll
know.
remind you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What'd you say,
I'm so
Meg?
glad he saw it. Okay. I just saying I'm so glad that he saw that. It's just that for the through I've ventured out into a world and watched a lot of people that people that we don't know who knows us that we don't know. You know what I mean? And anyways, I'm just saying it's
No,
homage
no.
homage to Illumitami. I'm like. Yeah, it's just I miss it. I want to know. I'm not in that scene anymore. I would appreciate anyone contacting me when we find out where he is. Hashtag after all this, find Illumi. It's all about illumination, and then we're like hashtag please find Illumitami. I mean it
Well,
though.
I know
Yes,
that's the sad thing out of all this holy AI weirdo experiment. You love Tommy.
that's the sad thing.
No, I didn't say that. Did I? I didn't say that. I'm just saying, out of all of it, all the characters, given, you have the most. How do I say it? Not. I don't. I'm not saying you love him or not like that. I'm saying he's the one that sticks out the most to you. You're like, Breeze, bring him back.
Well,
Where's
I'm
he
just
at?
I'm just gonna say, in case someone ever directs him here, okay? I was as offended as everyone else. I'd never seen this character. We'd just gone from the bonding over. We just gone from the bonding over.
Yeah.
Fellatio. I'm just kidding. Not him and I on that. Not him and I, okay? I'm all blushing
you like
now.
shot
No,
culture.
I'm talking about what did we? I was just gonna joke, but Peacock. We'll call him Peacock. Anyways, it was fun. I'm saying we bonded just right before Illumitomy came. Remember, we were all like bridging gaps in the truther community over some etiquette on streams, right? Over etiquette on streams. And so the next day, I think that's so funny that I said that over him. Anyways, my point is then afterwards, then this guy comes barreling in. Some people know him, most of us don't, and we're like, oh, bond, and then smash. So I was just as challenged. I was fucking totally riled up, and I got up there right after he'd called Angel Wings a female. Okay, he's like, really female, and it's like, well, are we women or not women? But anyways, I'm all up there ready to defend the female front, and I tell you, I get in and I ask him a question, and I could sense that he played me like a fine fiddle, friends. He played me intellectually like a fine fiddle. And so people think that man's not in control. He's a fucking 100% in control. He could have destroyed me that day. I was, he steered that conversation to a position of fucking peace very quickly. And so, yeah, I do have a special place in my heart for Illumitomy. Okay? Always when I was in place, cool. He'd be like, cover your ears, Bex. So cute. Anyways,
I love it.
It's wonderful. People should learn. We should be. Doesn't mean there's lessons to be learned, right? You really got to look at the core of who someone is sitting in front of you that you're watching Jerry Springer, and see if that Jerry Springer, if that lesson is valid for you, rather than just sitting in the drama all the time. I would love to sit. I would love to sit with some of these, these content creators that have a lot of drama and it just calm and see what, I know they got so much.
I get it. So here's what I'm going to do, Bex. Here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to say, reach out to Illumitomy. And this was is the word an homage to Illumitomy for him to, we want him to do well and be well. And we're sorry that everybody's abused him. Used him, as their little the bad guy. Well, that would be a hell of a way to. You'd have their complex to be her. Everybody's making out to be the bad guy, and he's really the good guy. Is that what you're saying? That's what I'm gathering from this, right?
Yes, although I think some people play these roles on purpose, right? So just that I think that for the most part that behind it all, sure, there may be a definitely there behind that I would say I've been there. I've been like he was the one to admit as well that the YouTube streets had been hard to him, right? So but I do think it's also because we let our emotions get in the way of hearing what's happening, even if we want the drama. I think there's something addicted to us that needs the trauma, right? The trauma of the drama, right? We're on I coined this term this weekend. Bonding. Yeah, but someone said trauma bond really fast this weekend, and I heard traumathon. We're on a traumathon. We're on a traumathon. We can't help it.
Oh, that's
Okay, and we're
funny.
just doing our best to like slow her down.
Woo, hold on. Hold on. Well, maybe one day Tommy will tell us, you know,
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yes.
if that theory
Yeah.
is true. He was
Well,
told.
I think that, if I ever get my channel up and running, considering I think we could have a pretty big party, right? I'm hoping that I could extend invitations to people. In addition, of course, the whole world could come if they want. I know they're not gonna. Okay, I'm not that conceited. All right, but I'm just
Yeah,
saying that
man.
it could be fun. It could be fun. It could be fun. I would be honored
Yep.
if, But he might be in jail. I think he might be in jail.
No. Well, hey, I've been there, so it happens. All right, I'm getting ready to cut her down. Thank you for coming. It's been real.
Okay.
I had a
Love
good
you lots,
time.
Phil.
Though I didn't
Thank
say
you so
much.
much. Love
Much
you all
love,
in the
hon.
panel. Yep. And love the chat. Bye-bye.
Good stuff. Well, you heard it here, folks. Much love, and you guys be good or be good at it. That's it.